All right, good evening. Monday again. Welcome to the Stunthangar live video hangouts. As usual, the links are all posted in the Stunthangar control line forums at the bench thread, and that's the top post that's posted tonight. I just posted it a moment ago. Always wait until the exact time the show starts to post it. And so it looks like we got a couple of people standing by out there. So hopefully we'll have some hopefully we'll have some visitors coming in both on YouTube and video. um, anyway, it is March the 18th 2019, and when I proclaimed it to be Yellow Friday last week, I had no idea what we were in store for, because it's about 10 times yellower today than it was last week. um, my wife's got a brand new car, sat out under the maple tree all weekend, and it has gone from Caribbean blue to puke yellow. Quite a combination. Sort of like green, but not. Anyway, welcome, and I'll be your host. I'm Rusty. I don't remember if I said that. As always, I'm still Rusty, and I'll be with you until at least midnight, but we've been setting records lately going on till somewhere around 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking that's a little late. We probably won't go on that long, but when we do, we get our visitors from the United Kingdom, because the it's getting close to sunup where guys got to get up and go to work. And so they click on and see us. They're 5 or 6 hours behind where I am right now, and even more from where most of y'all are, because I'm Eastern U.S. time. Most of y'all are west of me in earlier time zones. Hey, JP, hola to you too. So we got our first YouTube visitor out there. Looks like 3 are watching now. Checking on the Stunt Hanger post to make sure that it successfully posted. Yes, it did. Okay, we're good. And so anyway, been a good weekend. I hope y'all did something fun this weekend, so you can come in and tell us about it and do some show and tell. I got some real good quality shop time in this weekend. I was here by myself. My wife was out on a girlfriend weekend vacation, and so I didn't have anything to do but play, and play I did. Working on my half a Hyper Viper, and it's the CNC cut machine from uh, Southridge CNC, and Greg Rodney is the guy that produces that. To learn more about it, there is a thread. I posted a bill thread in the Half A building section on Stunthangar, and Greg Rodney's thread about his company and the Hyper Viper, and later the Spook and others. Don't know if they're in the open forum or in the Half A forum, but if you're interested in one of these, they're beautifully cut kits, and you can look back a week or two and see where I used that for show and tell, and described it, showed pictures of it. So anyway, also what we've got going on is one of our YouTube members, Gary Sinclair, is planning to make us a calendar, Hangouts calendar, for all of our regular viewers to show off what you're building for this season. Is the primary thing he would like to have a picture of you and your planes, or anything that somebody in your family, friends or family, might be doing that would be good calendar material. If you're interested in that, please PM me. I'm Rockin' Rusty on Stunthanger, RKN Rusty, and you can PM me. Let me know if you're interested, and I will send you the form to fill out to accompany. That'll be with the information to accompany your pictures and where to send it. And we need to get 15 or 20 pictures would be nice. So anybody that wants to participate in the calendar, and I was mistaken. Gary wants to make it a 2019 calendar, even though we've lost a couple of months. It's not like we got things to put on the schedule for the upcoming year for the Hangouts, but it would be a cool commemorative item to have our pictures, and hell, I can always use another calendar to hang near my desk or something like that. And so Rockin' Rusty on Stunthangar. PM me if you are interested in getting a picture in this Hangouts calendar. And I've planned on posting on the forums, and it will be in the open forum. I've planned on posting in the Stunthangar forums the same thing, how to do it with a copy of the a PDF file of the application form to send in. Haven't gotten that up yet. Probably will do that first thing in the morning, because I'm going to be sitting here at the computer most of the day working on my Control Line Club's newsletter, and I'll do that before I do anything else, because Gary's getting a little itchy. I don't think I'm moving as fast as he might want me to, but hey, I'm on South Carolina time. That's even slower than Tulsa time. Living on Carolina time, and we are the Carolina Gang down here. That's the unofficial name for our club in Huntersville. But that's what we call ourselves, the Carolina Gang. Pretty cool. And anyway, so I don't have a whole heck of a lot for you right now. Just hoping somebody will drop in and bail me out, give me something to talk about. JP's the only one we got so far out there on the YouTube chat. I was afraid something might be wrong with it, because I had an error out 1 minute before airtime, and I had to scramble to get it back up. It's always something like that, when you're messing with PC computers, Windows, and the internet. That's always a recipe for malfunctions and errors. But I got it going now, and so happy to be here, and hope we can keep you entertained for the evening. As usual, my standard announcements. If you're in the YouTube chat box, which is on the Stunthangar Control, or the Stunthangar YouTube page, homepage, you can watch the video there and use the text chat box. Anybody that's already there already knows that, so kind of redundant. However, I want y'all to know that there is the super chat $sign down at the bottom of the chat box. If y'all are so inclined to help us out, you can click that and send us a buck or two, or whatever you can. And if you don't want to, that's okay. I don't mind that a bit. I understand. And if you can't, I certainly understand that. And if you're feeling generous, drop us a little ching, and that helps Sparky keep the server fees up, keeps him going with his video equipment for the great job he does of filming things like the Nats and Brodak and all of the things that he does in his shop that are so interesting and informative, and keeps this show on, and hopefully free, and hopefully live for a long time. Although we keep hearing rumors that YouTube's gonna snatch this down and probably put up some other way for us to do this, but it'll be a whole new learning experience for all of us. But anyway, yeah, click the super chat button if you feel so inclined, and we appreciate that. And I've been also announcing something for my video visitors. We are always getting new people in that aren't used to the format, and the way this video works is we've got up to 10 members in here at the same time sometimes, and whoever's talking gets the priority window in a big picture, like I am, like you're seeing me right now. I have the priority picture. When other people come in here, when they talk or hammer or saw or sand, they get the priority window. He who makes the most noise gets the priority window. And so be aware of background noises. Turn your TV's radios off in the background. And if you're going to sand or work on something, because I know a lot of you work in your shops, you mute your mic at the same time that you're that you're making that noise, and that way it doesn't scramble us up. And keep an eye out. Just be courteous and keep an eye out for your fellow chatters, and make sure you don't see somebody holding something up, desperately wanting to show us, but can't get a word in edgewise because somebody else is talking. So just be aware of what the other folks in the chat are doing, and cut them some slack. Some people are good at making more noise than others, and some of our people are sort of quiet and get kind of stepped on when they try to talk. So just obey that forum etiquette, and we'll all do just great. And Gerald Wimmer just dropped us a super chat. Thank you very much, Gerald. I appreciate it. Gerald's down in New Zealand. He says hi, Rusty, and other viewers. And that would be JP at the moment is our only one on here. Let me get my chat box up here. Okay, we got 6 people watching now. So the crowd's slowly growing. And we've been getting good numbers in both YouTube and on the live video for the past couple of nights. Well, this past Friday night, we filled it out with 10 people, and that's as many as can fit. If the 11th person is out there trying to join, they've got to wait until somebody else drops out, because that's all we can handle. And it would be nice if we could get more than that, but honestly, it would be too much, because I have to handle everybody, make sure that nobody's getting stepped on, make sure all of the volume controls and everything are set right. So I'm kind of glad they limit it to 10. But if you're trying to get in and can't, if there's already a full house, then you might have to wait your turn. And when somebody drops out, you can drop in. Jamie Holford hit us with a super chat too. Hey guys, appreciate that. And I really do, because I get a little bit of that too. It goes towards my hobby income, and that's not much, but hey, this is a cheap hobby pretty much, so it doesn't take a hell of a lot. And I told y'all about buying that little inexpensive chop saw, and I showed it on here and got it from an eBay seller, and I put it on the table and fired it up. I figured probably a good idea to let it run in for about 3 minutes, and so I just turned it on and let it run with no load for about 3 minutes. And after a couple of minutes, I heard the motor wavering a little bit, so went ahead and turned it off. Oh, let me let Gerald in. I see Gerald just popped up out there. I didn't see your blue banner. And once you turn your mic on, you'll be in, Gerald.
Hi, Rusty.
Hey, Gerald. Good to see you. How are things down under?
Oh, I'd say it's just a shock for people here. What happened? The big shooting and
The craziness came to New Zealand. Yeah, it's still on the news here, but they're never they're never going to pass up a terrible story to keep people watching. So that's the trouble with news these days, and I think they actually inspire more bad stuff to happen. If you want my honest opinion, it's kind of sickening, not only the crimes, but the way the crimes are handled and reported.
Yeah, it is very unfortunate. I feel sorry for those people affected by it, and I hope all the perpetrators are caught and sentenced. But yeah, it's something that you can't wind back the clocks and change these things. And
if they got this person in custody,
I believe so, but I don't know who else is involved.
Yeah.
Well, probably just best not to talk about it too much and focus on modeling, because we can't change some things. We just have to live with them. But,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, before we end that, JP says prayers with you, Gerald. You wanted to know if you were near all that mess, but yeah, too close. Anywhere is too close. Jack Snavely says, good evening, hobby people around the world from Kansas, USA. It's a Hobby Talk Monday. All right, Jack Snavely. I like your attitude.
Yeah. Focus on the good things. We can't change everything. We can't change people's views, and we're best just to keep religion and politics out of our sport, and
absolutely
focus on the things we can do.
Well, have you heard my announcements about the calendar that Gary Sinclair wants to make for us?
Yeah, I heard it. I heard that. I was just setting up. I was busy doing a whole lot of other jobs. I can't stay too long tonight. I promised my boys I'd cook them an afternoon tea when they get home from school, so I'll probably have to head off because
Okay.
the daylight saving and we've moved back. So I've got about half an hour free before I'll probably have to depart and then head off and do a few other jobs. But
Okay.
I've
Well,
heard your announcement, and it sounds a good idea, the calendar.
I think so. Yeah. So if you've got anything that looks picture worthy for a calendar, send me a PM and let me know, and I'll hit you back with the application form. Meanwhile, tomorrow morning, I'm going to post that application form on the open forum with an explanation. I just hadn't gotten around to posting that up yet, so I'm just asking anybody that's listening right now. 8 p.m. Rockin' Rusty, RKN Rusty on Stunthangar, and let me know, and I'll send you the form to fill out to accompany your pictures, and we'll get this thing going, because I think Gary's not sure how long he's going to be with this printer that he's working for, but he wants to get this project done, and I think it's a fun project, so we'll give it a shot. And Jamie says he's got a great pick for July month. Okay, yeah, we'll see. no, no thongs allowed, not unless they're on your wrist.
Oh, I
So,
got a nice picture the other day of my wife standing with her Finnish Phantom Racer, and she's got, oh, it's a terrible picture. I don't have all my makeup on. I don't look right, but I just thought, well, that's really great to have a picture of her and her new model. She hasn't test flown it yet, but she brought it out to the field, but the conditions weren't right. It's on the wall behind me. I should pull it out because it won't be here long, and I'll just show you her new Phantom Racer. Yep.
a little speed plane.
Yeah, a little team race plane, a Phantom Racer, and I test ran the motor. The motor seems to run well, and she wanted it bright orange, and she wanted a little bit of blue. It's blue rather than black pinstriping on it, and she put her number 8 on the tail. But
I like
she,
to have a different color on the lead edge, kind of like slats or something. It just gives it a little more dimension.
it's got a national sticker from 2019 on that wing.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks like a very photogenic airplane.
And
That'll be good.
it's got a little beer in it for the pilot. It's probably hard to see the little beer.
Yeah, you got glare off the canopy.
Yeah.
I'm not even clicking on it. Hang on just a second so we can show everybody. Okay. Oh, yeah, we can see it now. Yeah, very good.
So yeah, she chose the colours and she painted it. She brush painted it, and I put on the clear for her. I did that by brush as well, which was very dodgy. I wouldn't recommend putting on your clear with a brush because it was starting to gel by the time I got to the end of it. So
Yeah.
we were trying to get it ready for the day's flying. So I was brushing on the clear.
Well, on camera, it looks pretty good. I can't see brush marks on camera like you can up close.
Yeah, it's not.
I bet restarting a diesel in team racing is kind of a tricky operation.
If they're warm and you don't flood them, if you don't prime them too much, they'll start right on up on the first flick if you're good at it. But it means giving them a whack because you don't want to change the compression on it. You want to start it with the running compression head on it. If you change the compression, then all the things go out and you end up twiddling.
And you got to sit there doing all kinds of adjustments while everybody else is gaining on you.
Yeah, so you've got to really just have that knack with the diesel, and that means when you flick the prop, you're not just flicking it, you're whacking it. You're giving it a good thump with your hand. Often I'll use your whole hand to give it that momentum, get it turning over, because when it's on running compression, it's hard to flick. You can't really whack it with enough force to get it to start when it's at that running temperature that easily. Some motors are better than others. Some start very easily, and others, they really try your patience. I saw you.
And you're not allowed to use an electric starter either, are you?
Not for team racing and combat. You're not allowed on an electric
Same
start.
here. Yeah.
But, yeah, she made another Phantom racer before that, and it had a cat as the pilot, but on the plan it showed like 10-degree incidence on the wing because it was designed originally as a trainer, and we put the 10-degree incidence on the wing, and then it was porpoising along the whole time. It was losing speed just because of that incident, so we built this one 0-0.
It was almost like trying to fly and stall at the same time.
Yeah, it was not nice sensation. And because she was losing speed, she would sometimes lose line tension too. And she just said it was a handful to fly. But hopefully this one would be a lot nicer. I got my little green Phantom. Oh, I got it running really well the other day, which it's on the wall as well. And with the Mark 17 diesel, I thought it was too loose, but with a little bit of careful tweaking, it was running really well. I saw you had your Hyper Viper starting the sanding. It was looking good when I watched.
It is, and I posted some on Cox Engine Forum. I usually put more detail over there than I do on Stunthangar. Worked on it some yesterday, and finally, I think for the first time in my life, ever drilled perfect holes in the beams to mount the engine. I took the starter spring off because it was interfering with the mounting, in that I wanted to be able to give the engine a couple of degrees of outward thrust offset, and it was pushing the spring so that the drive plate would have been rubbing on it, and it would have been throwing black mess all over everything if the drive plate had been rubbing on that spring. So I just took it off, and it mounts up a whole lot better. And I got it exactly where I wanted and dotted it down with a couple of drops of thin CA, and then just, with some engines you can't do this, but with the TD there was enough room on each side where I just put a drill through each hole on the engine and put a little starter divot, and let Steve Hines in here. And good evening, Steve.
Hey.
And so I got the engine mounted exactly like I want it now. I had to open up the cylinder hole a little bit more because I moved it back. Without the starter spring, I can move it back and give it only about a 1/16 inch of clearance between the prop and the nose. And so I think that's going to work out pretty well. And I wish I had some 256 threaded inserts rather than screwing wood screws into the beams, but I cannot find any at any hobby outlets. I can find 540 or 440, but I can't find 256. I'd love to have.
It is getting
McMaster car.
Can I buy just 4 of them or 8 of them there without having to buy a whole sack full?
I think so. I'm not.
I'll check it out. I could probably just go. I got some extra with my super chats now. Money. I've got some extra, so I could go ahead and buy a whole assortment of screws and nuts. And it's just ridiculous having to buy 4 screws at a time for $5. So I might look at them and see if I can get some tiny threaded inserts like that. That way, switching engines, I wouldn't be taking wood screws out and putting them back in, because that's always a little dubious. I feel like it weakens it every time I do that.
Hey, did you Friday? Did you bring out your that Super Stunner or whatever that thing was? The Viper.
The Hyper Viper.
For Viper.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Mounting the engine in. Yeah. Well, no, I didn't bring it onto the show because it was out in the shop. I put pictures up, and I can't remember if I posted pictures of Friday or last Monday. It was probably Friday. Yeah. Yeah. And then this weekend I got some more work done. Let me see what Gerald's holding up here. And that is that 256 mounting? Yeah. Oh, is that threaded inserts?
Yeah. The self-locking one. The ones with the little.
Is it? I couldn't tell if it was T-nuts or threaded inserts.
Oh, they're the.
I'm not getting focus on it.
Yeah, they're T-nuts or blind nuts.
Yeah, I can't get underneath the beams now. And when I glued them in, I had no idea of knowing where the engine was going to go. I guess I could have figured that out, but I didn't. And so I got to go in from the top if I'm going to put any mounting hardware like threaded inserts that you bore a hole and screw them in, and then you can bolt the engine to the insert.
Now this is a built-up fuselage, isn't it?
Well, by built up, it's more like a hollow log that's been CNC'd, and it's about 3/32 of an inch all the way around. Um, Thickness of the fuselage, and I've actually thinned it in some places, but yeah, it's all. He just took a 2-inch square block and let the CNC machine cut out the top like a clamshell, and then let it cut out the bottom like a clamshell. And so it's a full fuselage plane, but it does not have formers and stringers. It's its structure is all in the thickness of the wood. So that's another reason I didn't shave it down too much. Just it doesn't have formers holding it together. Think Walt Musiano hollow logs on steroids.
Yeah, it sounds like that. But yeah, it's similar construction to a lot of those small models. Everything's just heavy duty sheet in a sense.
It did have CNC scribing marks left from the tool in the machine that had to be sanded off of the whole fuselage and inside and out. And those have proven to be difficult to get rid of. I keep sanding and I keep seeing little tiny, if you get in the light right, you can see little grooves still left from the tool. And I think it's not actually cutting marks. I think it's pressure marks from where the tool pressed the wood in. So I took a bottle of Windex and held it about 3 feet away and spritzed the whole fuselage just with a couple of shots. I didn't want to soak it, but I was hoping that would swell some of them out. They would go away and stay. And it looks like it sort of worked, but I can still see a few that I'm got to get the 60 grit sandpaper out and work on a little bit more.
Okay.
Well, I suppose it's wise to do that all now so you don't get any finish on it before you've got rid of all of those marks.
Right. I'm going to cover it with silk span or doctor paper anyway, but I think that it would show through that. And so, yeah, I'm going to make sure they're all gone. I don't want to have any. I want to make this a really nice looking plane. I hope maybe this is one of my faithful followers. Let's see who's texting me. It is Jamie. Let's see, what does Jamie say? Oh, he's showing me the pictures he wants to put on the calendar. Maybe, let's see.
Ask him, well, if he can hear us, where he's been lately.
Where you been lately, Jamie?
Hi, Jerry.
He might be busy working on the control line flying YouTube page. Yeah, those are good pictures. If you can get one with you and the plane too, it would be good. Or a project for anyone who's listening, a project that you've got on the table that is as yet unfinished, but hopeful for this upcoming season would be a good picture too. You can show a skeleton. Oh, I gotta let Chris in. Thank you for alerting me. Got my eyes in too many places. Hey, Chris, how you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Not much. We're just hitting our groove. Doing pretty good. Talking about the Hyper Viper right now. Here comes T-Bone. Hang on, let me let T-Bone in. And once he turns his mic on, hey Tom.
What's up, gentlemen?
Hi, Tom.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Oh man, you got your heavy hoodie on. It must be cold up there still, huh?
It's 55 degrees in my basement.
Oh. Yeah, I had my electric heater on in my shop yesterday, and I was working over the table and noticed my light went off over my table and my heater went off at exactly the same time. And so I sat up and looked around like, what the hell? And then I smelled something burning, and I'm like, oh crap. And I started scampering around looking for smoke, and I'm like, are my glasses foggy or is it smoky? And I was in a stage 0.5 panic. And so I ran to the breaker box, and I had a pair of overhead lights that are on a old IV pole that I can roll around. So I shined it in there where I could see the breaker box, and I saw 2 breakers that were off. So I turned them back on just to see, and they didn't affect the light or the heater. And I finally figured out that it was the breaker on the end of my 8-foot drop cord that goes from the wall to the table where my light and my heater plug in, and an occasional tool plug in. And I think there was it was sitting in some dust and crap on the floor, and that socket was hot, real scary hot. And I think it smoked some dust on the floor, and that's what I smelled.
Really, yeah.
You got to
I
be
left it off.
You're carrying too many amps on too small of a wire.
I usually set that heater to cycle on and off, but that was a fat wire. I mean, it's a 1/2 inch thick, but it is probably not contractor grade. I got it at Lowe's about 5 years ago, and it's probably time to replace it. But hell, I'm thankful the breaker on it worked, because I wouldn't have known it was too hot.
Well, if it's a 1/2 inch thick,
That's
then
one of the habits that I had that I have forgotten about, and I didn't think to check and make sure the heater was cycling on and off, and it was just running wide open for 2 hours. It heated that thing up. The wall was warm too, where the socket is. So I just shut everything down and worked in the cold for a while. So that was a scary thing. But
Yeah, just to check out the heater. Maybe there's something wrong with the heater.
yeah, I ran outside too and looked up at the roof, because I've got some of those turbines on top of the roof, to see if any smoke was coming out of there, and everything was okay. And it turned out fine. The shop's still out there today, so I'll call that a win.
you might want to plug in the heater right into the outlet to see if the outlet still gets on. It could be the outlets went bad.
It's an old outlet. It's time to replace it. No questions asked. I'm just going to pull it out of there and put a new one in.
Yeah.
The wiring itself is probably pretty old. Let me let Tom Creasy in. That shop was built probably when the house was in 1948.
Oh,
And so anything's possible in this place. But I always think of Dale Barry's shop burning up in such a flash. He stepped outside one day to take a break or something, turned around, and the shop was in flames. He told me he blamed it on squirrels chewing on the wiring in the attic. And I know I've had squirrels in my attic too, so that makes you double take. So what's going on, Tom?
Right, Tom. I might shoot off. I'll see if I can come back later, or I'll watch on YouTube just in case the bus comes. So
Okay.
I'll just say goodbye for now. Right.
All right.
See you,
all right.
John.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
You Friday where you lived.
Oh, we're okay. I just feel sorry for the people affected. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's from the Southern Island, though. But
yeah, South Island. Yeah, yeah.
Here comes Mike Lansky too.
I'll just say hello to Mike, but I got to drop out.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you, Gerald.
All right. See you later, Gerald. Good
Bye.
night. And so Tom Creasy drop out on us.
Yeah.
He was here and then he was gone. Oh no. Oh, that's Tom Luciano in that one. We got 2 Toms. Hey, Mike.
Hey, what's going on? Did Gerald leave?
Yeah, he might be back. He's gonna watch us on YouTube, but the kids just got home, so he's got to go fix him some lunch.
I wanted to holler at him and tell him we talked about I was going to send him some magazines and stuff. I'm one step closer. I finally got a vinyl mailer to stuff about 10 magazines in to send to him to New Zealand. So if he comes back on tonight, I guess I'll tell him.
Yeah, he was going to turn YouTube on, but he probably missed that since you just came in. Okay, here's Tom Creasy again. Let me let him back in.
Hey,
Okay, Tom, let's try that again.
Okay, now I can hear you guys. I didn't
All
have
right,
any
good.
volume.
What'd you say?
I didn't have any volume.
Oh, okay.
I got like a whole bunch of crap I've got to be too many devices. How y'all doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Good. We're just kind of getting in the groove here. People just started showing up a few minutes ago, and now we got a pretty good crowd. We had more than I've ever had on Friday night. We had 10 people in here. I was thinking 9 was the limit, but it's obviously 10. So,
Yeah, I'm working on my nose on this. I fiberglassed it yesterday, and all I'm going to be doing is just sanding, and just listening to you guys.
okay. What about you, Mr. Luciano? What you up to?
I'm sanding too. I don't know if you could see this, but
Oh.
let me see.
You got a bright light in the
So
background.
everybody can see.
I'll block the light. Oh, can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I can, yeah, we can see it.
All right. I'm sanding all the white off the top of the plane and.
You
Whoops.
bet. United States Air Force.
Yes, sir. And I'm fixing the blistering that all happened on the insignia blue. So, and it got a couple dings and stuff from the field that's got to be repaired for the
I
gnats.
think it had some contamination underneath when you put the insignia blue on.
No, I just think it generated a lot of heat there from the sun, and we were trying to figure it out. I used nitrate to adhere the veil. And I don't know if I just had some puckering underneath it or not, gassing off. It just, I don't know if you remember seeing it when I was in Huntersville. I mean, like, I got probably a 3/4 of an inch blister on this one stripe on the outboard wing. It's unbelievable.
Did you put nitrate over butyrate?
No, nitrate base.
Yeah, okay.
Non-tautening. Everything's non-tautening on this.
Yeah.
And then butyrate over the top.
I had the same thing with a Ringmaster. I used blue over silk span, but I used nitrate to put it down. It bubbled up all that blue, and I had to redo the whole damn airplane.
That dark blue absorbs a lot of heat.
It does get.
You know what though? Once I took all the nitrate, I stripped the whole airplane down, took all the nitrate off of it, everything, redid it up with just butyrate, and it's fine.
Sparky's said this several times. Keep your chemicals the same. Butyrate over butyrate.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys do this way and don't have a problem. Now, it delaminated right from the balsa. Like if I pop this blister, I got my finger over right now. If I pop that, it's not just the blue popped off, the silver underneath or whatever. It popped right at the balsa. The veil and everything's off of it.
Yep, mine came off right down to the silk span, but once I took it all off, the silk span just came off real easy, But yeah, I stripped the whole airplane to start all over.
Man, that sucks.
It was fine until I cleared it.
Finishing takes a long time, and
Yeah.
it really sucks when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, I got a whole damn gallon of nitrate. I won't use it anymore. I never had problems. I used nitrate, and I had problems on 3 airplanes. Went away from nitrate, and I haven't had the problem again. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I mean, a lot of people only use nitrate to put down the covering,
Right. And this was my first time using nitrate. I've never used it before. I always use butyrate and never had a problem. But I never really had a solid wing like this before. Most of my wings are, open bay, silk, that type of thing that I've always done. This was my first foam wing.
I'm scared to use it. I don't know much about nitrate because I haven't used it, just by what I've read and the research I've done and people's stories. But I really don't. What is the difference? I mean, really, of nitrate?
Better is what they say. And I've used it on the last 4 airplanes that we did silk and dope on, or silk span and dope on. I don't know if I can't tell you. It stuck. And then we covered it with butyrate and shrunk it with butyrate after that. But You know, two coats of nitrate on the frame, and then use nitrate to stick it down, and then butyrate over the top. I haven't noticed a difference really. I mean, butyrate
Dude.
sticks too.
Dude, you're on fire, man. There's something smoking. You're smoking. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, and my finish stayed pretty good for the first season, you know, out in the sun. And then last year it really started to blister. You know, I had a couple blisters here and there, real tiny ones, and then they just kept growing and growing and growing. Yeah, I mean, nitrate definitely sticks better. It builds up faster. You know, it definitely has more suspended solids in it. But
Yeah,
I
but you only use that
Maybe
on the
maybe when it gets hot, it turns into like you know, not a solid anymore. You know, kind of like melts. Maybe that's why it comes off the surface.
you know, I'm blaming it on me. I'm sure it's, you know, maybe I just didn't adhere that one spot. I mean, I put the nitrate on. I squeegeed it. I mean, I had every inch covered, and I don't know, but you know, people do it no problem. So
Yeah. But it's under your covering, so it's like sealing your balsa wood when you put it on, right?
yes.
So yeah, maybe something was in the wood or something in that particular spot or something.
Did you apply the covering with nitrate as well?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because that's how I've been doing it, and I haven't had any reactions. I mean, I've only just done like a Sterling Mustang and a couple of Ringmasters and a Twister using nitrate on the frame, and then sticking it down with nitrate, and then butyrate over the top. But I haven't had any bubbling or anything like that.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. And then the outboard wing, I would say, well, I'll tell you what, I went to Brodak. The plane only had 5 flights on it year before last. I came home, and by 4th of July, the outboard wing started getting the tiniest little pinholes in it throughout the whole top of the outboard wing. And like Al looked at it, he says, Tom, that thing's still gassing off. Now the plane was done. The plane was done the September before.
Oh wow, yeah.
So and then it went out in the sun, and all of a sudden it started gassing off again. So I don't know what's happening. You know,
There's a guy in Canada that had the same problem what you just said, and he can't, and he's been building planes since he was a kid. He's got several Concorde winners, and he couldn't figure out what happened. And he had to sand that all off of there and redo his surface.
What
in
kind of dope did you use?
Pardon me?
What kind of dope?
Everything's Randolph. The whole plane's Randolph.
See, I had problems with Randolph too. It seems like a long time ago I used, because I have some SIG, and you use the same thinner with SIG as you do, you know, for both the nitrate and the butyrate. But with Randolph, you got to have different thinners. And I'm wondering if the different thinners react to each other or something.
You know, it's possible because I did use different thinner.
Yeah, you use
nitrate thinner to put the nitrate down, and I used the butyrate
thinner for the other. And so I'm kind of wondering, Wendy had a bunch of problems, but he was using Brodak stuff, and that's the same thing with that. You got nitrate, you know, because it's Randolph stuff. So I don't know if SIG being the same thinner in both the nitrate and the butyrate makes a difference.
That's what I've used, Steve. I've used SIG, nitrate, and butyrate dope, but with SIG thinner, both. Oh,
okay. So maybe that's the problem. It's different thinners and it's incompatible there. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what happened to mine. I just quit using it. I never used it before, but you know, and it's like, well, I've never had covering come loose or bubble up or anything else, and now I'm using the stuff that's supposed to stick better, and it's not sticking good.
There's a Ringmaster I built 2 years ago, and there's the wing. I'll just show the wing, but I used 2 coats of nitrate, silk span, and I put the silk span down with nitrate, and then I brushed the whole thing with low shrink clear butyrate on top, and I used Sig thinner for both the nitrate and the butyrate, and that plane is 2 years old, and there's not a bubble on it anywhere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, I mean that plane was built 2 years ago.
Yeah, it looks good.
There's not a bubble anywhere on anything. I mean, that's the elevator that has silk span on it as well. That was put down with nitrate and then butyrate over the top. But I used Sig thinner for both the nitrate and the butyrate. That was all Sig product.
Oh, okay.
That should get my combat streak down. I have Randolph butyrate and Sig butyrate on it for the filler coats. Then I veiled it with butyrate. Then I sprayed the red with Aerogloss red that I had laying around from 50 years ago, and then cleared it again with butyrate. It's fine.
Yeah.
Go figure it out. Right?
You had something wacky going on with your airplane, Tom. Something didn't like something else.
Yep.
Just
Chris Horner today said he had to go to YouTube. Chris says that in the real airplane world, it's actually illegal to use two different brands of chemicals. He's always just used Randolph butyrate and have never had a problem.
What? I know they sell the nitrate to put down seconite and stuff, but I believe they use an enamel paint over that. They don't go back with a different dope over it.
I think I read a thread where Bill Biles said that he uses nitrate to attach the fabric on real airplanes and then puts butyrate over the top of it.
Oh, okay.
I
In
believe
classic finishes. You know?
Hey, I've got a text show and tell for you. Minnesota Mike says he flew his 1300 satellite free flight today with an 8-foot wing and a Rossi 60. And
oh
so
wow,
let me show you the picture he's got here. Okay.
that's a monster, man.
Yeah. Oops. Get big. Okay. Let's see if I can get. There we go.
I gotta click on you. Okay, yeah. Ask him how much fuel does he put in? Does he have a timer?
Hang on, guys.
Shut it off.
Talk to somebody.
Let me click on me so that the YouTubers can see it. But so how much fuel do you put in that, Mike? Just curious.
He's running a timer. Does it go 15 seconds, 30 seconds? And then is there a dethermalizer on it as well?
Yeah, maybe he'll hit us back with all those answers because
Okay.
he can hear you say that. Also on YouTube, let's see. JP says, I was told today that we lost Ski, S-K-I. Anybody else hear this?
Ski Dombrowski or something. Yeah, I saw it on Stunthangar
Yeah, that was Saturday or Sunday.
a couple days ago. Yeah.
I don't know who he was, but I see Bob Hunt wrote something about it. I don't know where he was from or anything.
Oh, Bob hadn't been in here to visit us lately. I guess he's been pretty busy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Chris says he says you use nitrate to attach the fabric. Chris also says then use butyrate silver as a filler and UV protection for seconite and linen.
Oh, okay.
Minnesota Mike says howdy. Okay. And that's about it from YouTube right now.
Oh, he hasn't gotten back on his free flight?
Not yet.
Okay.
Mike, let me know if you heard Mike's the other Mike's questions. Minnesota Mike, let me know if you heard Mike Lonke's questions about how much fuel or whether you use a dethermalizer or a timer or how you get that fucker to.
How do you get it back, man? How do you
Yeah.
get it back?
No, I'm sorry for anybody who's watching with their kids.
Language.
Yeah, just a slip of the tongue there.
Yeah.
And JP says, yeah, you're talking ski is who you said.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
He built. There was some pictures of some airplane that he built, and I believe it was a concourse winner, and it was one of the few airplanes that ever received 20 appearance points.
JP says he was a circle burner, probably the best builder ever.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was several years ago, and maybe more than 10, maybe even 20. I don't know. They listed the year, but he received 20 appearance points for that airplane. It's one of the few airplanes in history that has received 20 appearance points at the Nationals.
Yeah,
he won the Force Award for it. Yeah, and the design was his own. I can't remember the name of the airplane. Because somebody was asking about if it was ever kitted, and I don't believe it was, and I think it was a one of, like nobody else has ever built. You know what? I'm gonna take a break and look on Stunthangar. I'll still be able to hear you, but I'm gonna read that thread real quick so I can
okay.
tell you the info.
And Minnesota Mike answered your question too. You said you can still hear me. So 3 ounces of fuel, 3-second engine run with a 6-minute dethermalizer.
3 ounces of fuel?
He said, that's what he said. 3 ounces, 3-second engine run with 6-minute DT.
Holy kit. Holy cow. That's a bunch. That's a lot of fuel for that short of a run, but I guess if it's 60 running wide open.
I guess, yeah. Well, maybe it's the configuration of the tank. It might not be out of gas when it sucks air. And that, I don't know. Who knows? But
did he say timer?
No, he just said he said a 6-minute dethermalizer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I know that in a pattern ship on a 60, we ran 16 ounces of fuel, and for a 10-minute flight, there was enough to get back down to land and stuff. So an ounce a minute.
Oh, Mike said Selig timer.
A second. Holy cow.
There is a timer.
Yeah, a Selig, Sellig timer.
And what does he set it for?
Okay, Mike, tell us what you set your timer for. While
that's for the engine cutoff, if I'm guessing right. It cuts the engine off after.
Yeah.
I don't think he's running 3 ounces of fuel till the fuel is gone. They put 3 in it and they send it up, but the timer cuts the fuel off because they're limited to the amount of time they're allowed to run, and then it has to level out, and then they time them.
That sounds right.
There.
You're right. That sounds right.
Yeah, the engine run has to be the same for everyone, not ounces, but the actual time that the engine runs, I believe.
Tim Redelman says I got to put $5 in the swear jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my jar right next to me. I can't get too far away from it.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, guys. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Charles. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. Doing well. Actually flew for the first time in a long time today.
Oh, good. How'd it go?
Pretty good. Pretty good,
How's
actually. What?
How's the field? Is it in
It was
good
nice.
shape?
It was nice. The grass was a little bit thick, but it was nice. It was actually I'm still getting used to this Olympic, and I brought the line spacing in a little bit, and so the plane was more manageable. Felt more comfortable with it, and did a few more maneuvers with it.
Good deal.
Yeah, so it's coming along.
Hear anything back on your motors in the Ukraine?
I heard that Oleg has received my engine, and he said he would send it out shortly. I don't know what that means.
Well, it's a relief to know he received it.
I know. I don't know if I shared this with you, but I had been watching it. And the strangest thing is, I saw it leave the country, USA, and then it went to, I think, Germany. Then it went to the Ukraine. It was actually in Kiev, Ukraine. Now the engine is going to go to some city in the Ukraine. I can't remember the pronunciation of it. But next thing I know, the engine's going to Israel. And I'm like, why did it leave Ukraine and go to Israel? Then I'm waiting for it to come back. And anyway, so he eventually did find it. I mean, he eventually did get the engine, but it was just crazy that I went to Israel when it was in the Ukraine.
Yeah, really.
Minnesota Mike came back. Says 3 seconds. It shuts off the fuel and it doesn't use the full 3 ounces. It's in a big bladder.
Okay. Okay. 3 seconds?
Yep.
3.
Yeah, but he
So
doesn't.
like
He
lets
doesn't
it go
use all
and
3
it
ounces.
goes for 3 seconds and then it quits.
It must make one hell of a climb in 3 seconds.
Yeah, well, with a 60, I'll bet it does, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
like a rocket.
60 on a bladder.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Can you imagine? I bet it goes 600-800 feet, man, in 3 seconds. You know. So I looked up Ski. It was Ski Dombrowski, and his plane was the Lace Maker, is what it was called.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, while you were gone, somebody did say lace maker. JP said lace maker in 86.
90, actually it said 93 gnats, I think is what I read. But I don't know. It could have been built in 86 and gone on till 93. But yeah, the Lace Maker. And it was a 20-point airplane.
Chris says he sent you an email about the Brodak 15.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask him when he was in there briefly, and then he got out. We never
I think his battery died.
Okay.
So, Tom, you got to start painting on it this week? Yeah. Cool.
Mic's off.
Yeah, I know. He gave me thumbs up. Yeah, it's looking nice.
Yeah, Tom's got some elbow grease going.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, Tom.
Remember my cheap ass little chop saw?
Yeah, how much this thing? How much? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Didn't
Tom.
over talk you, Rusty.
That's all right. I was just trying to fill the dead air. Go ahead.
You know how much I got this? How much it weighs? I weighed it the other day. I had the engine in it because I built the nose piece the last couple days. 29.7.
Well, that's good.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I'm missing the tank. The tank is 1.8 ounces, so I need to add that to the 29.7. But it's all silk span. But I don't know. I'm gonna weigh it again because I just fiberglassed the nose of it with half-inch fiberglass or half-ounce fiberglass.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get half ounce forever, and I can get 3/4, but not half. Brodak's always out of it.
I get mine on Amazon.
Yeah, that's what I need to do, I guess.
I think it cost me. I got enough I could do probably 10 more airplanes, and I've already done 4 noses already.
What
So
kind is it?
it cost me like $3 and some 59 cents or some shit like that on Amazon.
For what was it?
Half ounce cloth, fiber cloth.
Oh,
There, I'll go get it.
okay. Yeah. That's a good price. I was saying all that sand and dust is getting all over your beard there, Tom. It's turning it white.
Hey, Steve.
What'd you say, Steve?
I said that all that sand and dust is getting all over your beard and turning it white.
No, And I wish that's stress, man.
Yeah, that ain't right. That's right.
This past year, like, anyway, here you go.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That's real.
Oh, so you
It's
said
real
I
sheer.
didn't realize when you fiberglassed it, you actually put fiberglass on it.
Yeah.
Most people say that they fiberglass something, they just put the resin on there. You know, epoxy resin or
Oh yeah, this right here. Is epoxy?
No,
oh,
when I say I fiberglass something, I put cloth on.
oh okay.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Steve,
3.
ask me if I've flown the SV-22 with the PA-65. I
Did you
did.
fly that SV-22 with a PA-65?
I did.
All right.
Sunday. Got
Damn
four-
time.
I got 4 flights in on Sunday.
Wow.
Sam and I went to the RC field, fucking around. Sorry, messing around with some RC stuff, and I took it just in case the field wasn't a muddy ass swamp like it had been in the past. And
So
I got 4 flights on it, man.
how the hell did you guys get good enough weather? Everybody else got drenched down here.
We were sunny and 55 on Sunday with about 4-mile-an-hour wind.
Wow.
Oh, that's such stunt heaven.
Yep.
So what do you think about the S22 or SV11, whatever it is? What do you think of it?
It's an SV-22, yeah, with a 65. Hands down, the best airplane I've ever flown in my life.
Wow.
I am so happy with it, man. Dude, the engine purred like a kitten. I didn't have any engine problems. It ran great. The power came on, the power came off. I only had 60-foot lines, so that's what I was flying it on. I think I'm going to have to lengthen the lines a little bit. I'm going to try some 62s and maybe 63s and make up a set of 65s and fly on all of them.
Right.
What did you say the lap time was?
Well, in my head, I was counting about 5 Mississippis. I didn't have a watch in my hand. Listen, I was just happy to be flying the thing, man.
Yeah,
So
I bet.
I didn't time lap times. You know, I just did the 1 Mississippi thing in my head.
I'm usually pretty accurate counting like that.
Yeah, my buddy, my neighbor who flies RC, he went with me. He was launching for me. He did run a stopwatch on it from start to finish, and it was running 7.5 minutes with a full tank of fuel. About
That's
7.5 to 7:45 if we got it right from the beginning. The only bad. Go ahead, Steve.
When you count Mississippis, you got a -1.
We got a -1.
Yeah, because
Yeah, but I say Mississippi really fast.
oh, because usually everybody goes, you know, they come to a point and it's like 1 Mississippi, and they go around and they're like 7 Mississippi, and they're like, holy cow, you know, or whatever.
No, I was getting 5 Mississippi. I think my cadence is pretty good on that. I think I can do 5 seconds pretty close.
But otherwise, you got to start out at 0 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
I think it was pretty close to 5-second laps.
Yeah, don't get him thinking about it too much.
Yeah, right. You're messing with me, man.
People do that all the time, and they count it, and they're like, "Man, I'm way off." I'm like, "Yeah, because you got a -1."
Yeah, that's a good point. I always start with 1 Mississippi. I don't start with 0.
I didn't start with 0. I start with 1.
I know it. So then you got a -1.
Well, no,
not if you're not an idiot.
No, from when you start at the tree or whatever your reference is, you go 1 Mississippi. By the time you get to the I in Mississippi, that's 1 second.
You better start saying 2 immediately. You don't pause either.
5th Mississippi at the I in the 5th Mississippi is 5 seconds.
Oh, so you're hitting that tree at the end of the 5th Mississippi.
At the end of Mississippi is right. So 1 is the start, and then last eye in 5 minutes. What are we talking about this shit?
I'm just surprised we didn't
Right.
do 1 Tennessee, 2 Tennessee, 3
Yeah.
Tennessee.
It was
Okay.
5 freaking seconds,
Yeah.
Steve. Okay, it was too fast on 60s. That's what I'm saying. But the engine was happy. The engine was happy. It was running where it needed to run. So I
Cool.
think it was a little fast on 60s. It flies like a dream, man. It really does. It goes right where I want it to go.
Did you have to do any kind of trimming at all?
No, I didn't trim it. I just flew it the way it was set up. The only thing I think I need to do, it's first of all the handle pull was crazy. It was a lot heavier pull than what I'm used to, and the airplane I was really at full extension to come out on the corners and stuff. So the handle I was using, I think I need a bigger handle spacing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Before I go dicking around with the airplane and trying to get in there and change stuff on the airplane, I want to go to a bigger handle spacing because I was using more handle than what I normally use to pull a corner.
Yeah. In other words, you're having to force it a little bit. So
For the circular maneuvers, everything was fine, but on the like the squares and the reverse wing over and that stuff, I was really having to crank it a little bit to get there. So I think a bigger handle will do that, no problem.
See, that's where Samantha runs into the problem. She's so small that with a heavy airplane like that, it pulls so hard. Then she gets into wind, and it's even harder to turn it to where she doesn't hardly have enough damn strength in her wrist to make the plane turn.
Yeah, little bit. I think I'll go
what
up
do you
with
mean
a
start the
1/4 inch
wall?
in handle spacing next time.
Movie?
I
Okay. Yeah.
believe
I
I
thought that's
go
what you probably meant.
1/2 inch.
Oh, cool. God, it's been so long since
Like
I've
the
seen it. I don't even remember what it's like.
And then the only other issue that I had was the last
I
30
saw it in the
seconds,
theater.
like at 7 minutes. Now I was just filling the tank up all the way. It's an 8-ounce tank. I
Oh,
wasn't trying to get it at 6 minutes or 6.5. I was just flying the airplane with a full tank of gas. But it's good to know that with a full tank of gas, it's still under 8 minutes. There's plenty there. But on the last 30 seconds or so, it was doing that ring, ring, the start and stop thing quite a bit.
okay. So that means that you have a lot of nose out on it, and it slows down, and it comes back in, and then it it throws that fuel back, and it picks it back up, and then it takes off again and throws it the other way. That's what.
You think it's that and
Yeah.
not that the
That's
tank's
what
too
usually
high or
causes
too
that
low?
at the end of the flight is that you may have to turn. Is there any way you can get any turn on that tank to get it?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet. So what?
Hey, thanks.
Turn the tank out a little bit so that
Yeah.
it gets all the fuel.
But the other thing you can do too is Samantha got used to doing it, and you see David Fitzgerald do it to where he does that cutoff loop where you get up high and do it and do a real fast, hard outside. It'll shut that motor off when it starts before it gets ready. When it's but then it always shuts off in the same point when you get used to doing that, and you can get one lap and land it perfect. So it's downwind and the judges see it nice.
Okay.
You see them guys do shut off laps on them.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't doing it for the full, like a minute or anything. It was literally like the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It would go lean and then quit a little bit, and then it would start up again and be lean,
Yeah, you may, I don't know, maybe it could be too with longer lines. It'll give you a different rate on how the airplane flies.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out too.
Lines, your nose will point up more. With longer lines, it's more drag and it pitches that nose in at you. So, and that may stop that.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, like I said, I
Yeah.
was just happy to fly it. I had 60s, and that's what I flew it on. And you know, come to think of it, some of the maneuvers when I was hammering a little bit, it was ruffling just a hair, so I could probably benefit from longer lines,
Yeah.
and that'll slow the lap times down, and that may take care of the engine issue. I'm not sure, but I'll tell you what, man, that's night and day from flying anything I've ever flown before. And that one, I flew the one with the 65 is the silver one, and that's the pig. That's the heavy one.
Oh, okay.
That's
Wow.
the heavy one. That's the pig, and that's the older one, and it's the one that's more beat up. The yellow one is going to have the new 61 in it, and it's like almost 8 ounces lighter
Oh, that's gonna
than
be
the
nice.
silver one.
Yeah, you're gonna really see a big difference in the turn and everything on that.
Yeah. What, Charles?
That's gonna be nice, that lighter one. But you know, I was really curious about what's your impression of the pipe versus the side exhaust motor. I know you flew your Brodak 240 plane with the side exhaust, but this is your first pipe, and I haven't flown a pipe yet myself.
Dude, I I don't really know enough to comment about it other than
Okay.
the damn thing. It purred like a kid. It started. I was getting like 2 flip starts, 3 flip starts, and I wasn't having to flip the airplane over either. I was able to start it with it upright, which was nice. Um, we worked on that a little bit too. You know, the starting procedure, but
Yeah.
it growled and went off, and the first run was probably a little bit rich, so I leaned it out a little more on the second run, and you know, I was putting off a pretty decent smoke trail and like in a fast 4, but as soon as I did a maneuver, boy, you could just hear the power come on, you know, and then it came out and it went right back, and it just was just rumbling away.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was impressed. I mean, I know nothing about running piped engines, but to me it sounded pretty fucking good. You know. Oops, sorry.
Very cool.
Oh, 2 for Mike, 1 for Rusty.
Yeah, all right. I'll put it in the square jar. All right, hey, I'm just stoked, man. It was successful.
I bet.
You
I
got
didn't break anything.
you got to get down there to Triple Tree or whatever, and let Randy and Derek help you with the pipe length, or if it needs, you know, they'll know right away if it
I know.
cut a little bit or.
Right. I don't know enough to say if it was running great or average or below average, but
It
to
was
me
you.
it ran pretty good and it flew pretty good. So
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm
That's pretty cool.
just stepping into this part of PA, so I don't know a whole lot, but it sure seemed a hell of a lot better than anything I'd ever flown in my life. So
Wow. That says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's, you know, was that the prop that come with the motor or?
one of them, yeah, the 3-bladed prop for the 65. I do have some 2-bladed props that I bought from Randy for the 65, but I was running just the prop that was on the airplane,
Oh, okay. That's cool.
or that came with the airplane, I should say.
Yeah, you know, somebody set that up already for that 3-bladed prop on that motor with the pipe length.
They did. That's what I'm saying, because I got everything but the engine.
Yeah.
The prop was with the airplane, and the spinner was too.
Yeah.
So I just put that on the 65 that I acquired.
Yeah. So somebody's already did all the work, you know. So that's what I was saying there about with, you know, Dennis there with his Brett Buck. Doesn't just like Brett Buck, and all the work is take. You know, you may have to tweak it just a teeny bit, but it's 99% there. You know, so you're gonna love it. You know, once you got it where you know it's perfect.
I think I'm gonna like the yellow one better because, like I said, this one is the pig of the two. So,
What does it weigh all up?
um,
Did you weigh it?
yeah, the oh shit, no, I haven't. I have not weighed them with the engines. I have weights without the engines. So
Okay.
the one of them is 40. The yellow one is 44 ounces without an engine and a pipe. The silver one is 52 ounces without an engine and a pipe.
52, 62, probably 67, 68 ounces in. Okay. Yeah, the other one being 8 ounces lighter.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That thing comes in under 60 ounces, man. You're gonna have love. That's for sure. That much wing and everything else.
Yeah, I was pretty jazzed, man.
I bet.
Good flying.
What happened to Tom there? He's all froze up.
Yeah, he is.
I may skip combat at the Nats and go fly advanced, even without appearance points, and see how bad I can whoop up on some guys, man.
Yeah, you'd probably whip up on some people. The better flying plane now too, you know. Last time you was flying that Brodak P40 ARF, right?
I was, yeah.
And now you're gonna fly this SV11 with the pipe. That's gonna be a big step up.
SV22.
SV22, excuse me.
The double deuce, man.
Stunt Vector 22. Pardon me.
Yeah.
Is that what SV stands for?
Yeah, Stunt Vector.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No.
What are you doing, Tom?
I asked Randy a long time ago. Somebody makes to mean Stunt Vector.
Stunt Vector, he told me Starus Vector.
I guess it depends which day you call him on, I guess.
Because he had the plane, the Starus. He had a plane called the Vector, and he put them together and come up with the SV because it was part of one and part of the other.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what he told me, and I believe you. That's what he told you, but he told me Stunt Vector. Maybe the SV11 is Stunt Vector. Maybe the SV22 is the Stars Vector.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I was trying to show what Tom was showing us, but it just goes black.
It does go black. I was wondering what Tom Luciano was doing. It sounded like he had a bunch of teenage girls down there yapping at him there a minute ago.
I don't know.
Coming down bothering you.
Yeah, Tom's 21.9 ounces ready to paint. Looks like.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a light one.
I thought I muted myself when Al called me a minute ago. I actually
That's
muted y'all.
right, dude.
That was me. I muted you, Rusty.
That didn't turn out too bad.
Not at all.
Tom,
That's
you got some RC stuff hanging up?
it's a profile.
Oh, I'm sorry. Other guys talking.
The top of it.
I got no video on it. On Tom.
You
I
definitely.
got it now. It wouldn't go before, but I got a picture of a.
It keeps stopping, Tom.
Yeah, it's frozen, I think. I got it frozen with a picture now.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I got his icon, his avatar. That's it.
Yeah, he's having bandwidth problems apparently.
Me?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, on my end, it looks like it's working perfect.
Yeah, you keep freezing up.
Keep freezing up.
That's the pilot's version versus the judge's version.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I said that you have the pilot's version and we have the judge's version.
I'll be darned. Well,
So
I don't know
Tom
what the
was
bandwidth. HD.
Well,
Limit
you figured
bandwidth.
that out. Tom Luciano, what do you got RC wise hanging up over you there, buddy?
Let's see. We got. I really should switch to my phone and get a tour. Let me see. If I point it up too much, I'm going to catch the light. There's a.
Is that a cadet?
That's a cadet right there. I built that for my daughter when she was 4. She's now 24.
Purple and pink.
Right? And there's another cadet fuselage back there. There's a HOTS 2 up there. I used to have an HP 40 on a pipe in that thing. Used to do 105 miles an hour.
Yeah. Wow. What's the yellow one?
The yellow one is a English kit. It's called the Panic. It's a biplane. That thing will fly I could take off, get 4 feet off the ground, put it in a knife edge, and fly the whole flight on a knife edge. I can loop it on a knife edge, everything. It is the funnest plane in the world to fly. And it's way before all the 3D planes came out and everything. It's a really fun airplane. It's got a Super Tiger 60 in it.
What's on the wall there? Is that a hog bike or an Ultimate?
It's like a knockoff Ultimate with an arm.
Okay, yeah.
It flies like it's too squirrely. It's really squirrely. I flew one flight with it. I don't like it. But I can't get into the other room right now, but I got some really neat stuff in there. Oh, you know what I want to show you guys? Hang on one second. Let me move the crossfire.
All right.
Saying, Tom, you know, about how fast the airplanes went. We had a cadet, the first plane me and my brother built. We put a Super Tiger 40 in it. And a guy did a little bit of work on, you know, the Super Tiger stuff. Came out there, we got a cop to come out with a speed gun. It was the second fastest airplane at the RC field. It did 96 miles an hour. Everybody believe. But it's got such a little thin, flat wing. I don't know if it's just trimmed right or whatever, but that thing would haul tail.
Rusty, I got a bunch of show and tell for tonight, and I got a ton.
Well, that looks pretty.
Okay.
What is that one?
Let me see if I can get this.
Yeah, we got you, Tom.
Got it? This. So there was a thread on Stunthangar about a month ago. Excuse me. I blew the dust off it. Now it went down my throat.
Right.
There was a thread on Stunthangar about a month ago. What was the largest control line plane? And somebody wrote Scala from the Union Club built a 14-foot control line plane.
Holy
well, this is George Rascala's stunt plane from 1969. I am making a replica of it. This is all original. Got a Fox 35 in it, and it is a really neat-looking airplane. Bob drew, a sketch of it. I took it up to Bob's house, and we measured the whole thing. And I got the lost foam wing over there started. I got the fuselage built for it. I was really wanting to work on that plane or this plane this winter, but life got in the way. So as soon as I get the finish done on the Crossfire, I'm going to start building this. Maybe I'll do an article, for Stunt News.
How big is that airplane? How big a wing?
It's I tell you what, it's bigger than a Nobler. It's not a Nobler wing. Like Bob, Bob thinks it was really great numbers for the time. So, I'm really curious to fly it. And I got pictures of George holding this. He built it in 69. He's holding it in pictures. Then he built another one for the 72 Nats. And then he gave this one to Paul, his son. You can't believe how dusty this thing is. Paul is surrounded by trophies in this plane. He was like 12-year-old kid flying stunt, and he was just cleaning up. So I think it's going to fly really well. So it should be neat. The wingspan, I bet you. Hang on one second.
I was gonna say that looks like a big plane for a Fox 35, but I know they flew some big planes on Fox 35.
Yeah, I mean the wing is probably about 2 inches shorter than my Crossfire wing.
Holy cow!
Yeah, so it's probably 600 squares, close to it.
I missed the name of the plane, Tom. What's the name of it?
Well, we called it the United States. Can you see that? Do I have
Yeah,
Paul called it. George's son called it Stars and Stripes. There was no name, and George was the kind of guy that he built the plane on the wood, no plans, no nothing. He just threw planes together, and he came out with new stuff nonstop.
What was his last name?
What's that?
What was his last name?
Riscala.
Scalo.
Riscala. Rizkalla.
Riscala.
Riscala.
Yeah.
Okay, and I will, if I come on Friday night, I have 2 RC planes. He started out in the 40s, George, as a free flight guy. And I have a picture of him in his club, his free flight. So he built when we all went to RC. He started building these gigantic free flight looking RC planes, like old timers and stuff. Then he just started designing his own. We cleaned out his. He's still with us, so let me get that straight. He's still with us, but we cleaned out his home because he was going to go live in an adult home.
Yeah.
And so we all took some of his planes. I have a gull wing, like old time free flight plane, 14-foot wingspan. It's up in my other room in my basement. I got to get it down because it's all across the whole, ceiling. This thing is gigantic. It's got an annual 120, and George was one of my heroes growing up, like Scarinzi and my father. These guys pumped out airplanes, and the work they did was just unbelievable. You got to see the joints. George did everything, clear finishes, silk and dope, everything he did. This is like one of the few painted planes you would see, just a stunt ship. And every joint was perfect. I mean, I don't know how he built. And he built in a room that was he's building 14-foot span wings, and the room was probably only 8 feet wide. I said, Paul, how did he do it? He opened the window, he said. Right out the window. So I guess, if you don't, you make it work, right? But he was one of those guys that just was great to me, growing up in the hobby, and that's what I'm building this to honor him, and I got to finish it. He's 89, so.
Well, one time I was in Canada with that friend of mine that did work on Super Tiger engines and everything. He started out free flight, and he was going all over the world for pattern. Well, a friend of his had a kit, I can't think of the name of it now, but that he was building, and he had the wings joined together and covered or bolts on it, but he didn't have a fuselage. So when I asked him, he says, "You got any CA?" And he said, "Yeah." He goes, "You got some razor blades?" "Yeah." He says, "Well, go get that fuselage and I'll put it together." And we're sitting on the porch drinking beer. Len gets the thing, starts pulling out of the box, starts gluing everything up. He's got an X-Acto knife, and he's stripping bolts, all this kind of stuff. And within a little over an hour, he had the whole fuselage built. He's looking down, he goes, "That's straight as an arrow." And I'm like, how in the hell would you build a fuselage in your lap and have it? I'd had that thing all twisted, and, and he had it all, he got it all done. Took some sandpaper, sanded it out. He goes, "Yeah, and I will finish sanding, and it'll be done." And I just couldn't believe all these guys that built all the time. Just build with nothing.
Yep.
Building boards or anything fancy, or they were just good at it. They did so many.
He was
What
a
else
master,
did you show there,
obviously.
Tom Luciano? Anything else interesting?
Well, look at it. You see that spinner on this thing? You see that?
Wow. That'll hurt somebody.
Vico needle nose.
Yeah. And it's a rev up 10.6 wide, cut down to probably, 9 inches. And he had it on the prop 1970. I guess that was ready for the 1970 season. Just look at the landing gear. Look how raked in.
Check it out.
Yeah, I love the way they're cocked in like that. That's pretty cool.
Really, really neat looking plane. Let me see. I'll grab something else. Hang on. I don't have much.
Hey, these landing gears from these kits, they're not bent very accurate, are they?
Not always.
I had Bob pick me up a landing gear kit when he was at Brodak, but I still hadn't gotten my stuff from him. It was supposed to be meet up last week, but I never heard from him, so I give him a call.
While Tom is getting his next show and tell, I'll do a little show and tell.
All right, go for it. I got you locked in.
Redoing my garage. I finally got Lots of storage up there. I extended that hanging pole by another 5 feet, so that's all
Wow,
off the ground.
that's nice.
That's
Seating
nice and neat.
space for hanging airplanes, and then I redid those shelves too. There's a shelf just below there, and another one there. Man, my garage is trashed right now since I decided to do this stuff. I still have the empty new toolbox sitting there,
Very nice.
and the old shitty one that has to be emptied out. But that was first priority, was getting these airplanes off the floor. They're
Yeah,
all over the place. So I've got all that hanging space now.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
good.
more over there. You recognize that green one there, Steve? That's Dick's checkmate right there
That he gave. Sam.
that he gave to Sam. Yeah.
That's a good
There's a new Tucker up there too. Paul Taylor gave Sam that Tucker special, that orange one sitting there. And that there's a bi-slob up there. Paul Taylor gave us a bi-slob for Sam. I don't know if you remember, I handled the transaction of Wendy's Testarossa.
Yeah, I remember that.
I sold, well, I didn't sell it, but it was Paul Taylor's, and I brokered the deal and got it to the new guy. So he gave us the Tucker and the bi-slob up there.
I never did finish Samantha's bi-slob.
I got 3 sitting up there, man, because I've got.
Man, I gotta get me a bi-slob.
I got that. The yellow one is the one Paul Taylor gave us. The gold and red one, I bought that. Randy Smith had that listed on Stunthangar, I don't know, 4 years ago for $50. So I bought that one. And then Mac Henry, the old combat guy here in Nashville, he gave us that red, white, and blue one there that he built from a kit. So I got 3 slots. 2 of those are the red, white, and blue one, and the blue and gold, or the red and gold one, are going to Brodax and being sold. We'll keep the yellow one that Paul gave us with an engine in it, but I got two bi-slobs that'll be for sale at Brodax.
Oh,
If anybody's interested.
yeah, I got that one. Is the red and gold one, and I got it already. Just got to glue it together, but just never have. Got it all hinged and.
I flew my first bi-slob last year, and no one told me what it did. So I'm just flying around in circle laps, it's level, and I'm like, wow, man, this is weird. And then one of the guys, after I got done flying, it was Jim Lee. He come over and said, dude, you don't fly level. And I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, this is a stunt thing. You 3D this thing.
Cover it.
Take your hand and go straight up and just wiggle your hand like this where you're going straight up, and that thing will just rock back down on you if you want. You can do whatever you want. And I'm like, really? So by the time it was my round to fly, because I was the first, they put me first, because they probably did that to hackle me, because they hackled me all day long with that. But the other guys, man, it was really cool what they do with that.
Yeah. Now, did you have a throttle as well, Tom?
No.
This is the Fox 35.
It was a Fox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fox 35, I think they had on there.
Run it sloppy rich.
Yeah, sloppy rich. Just
hang it.
I gotta have one. That was so fun to fly, man.
They're a lot of fun for sure.
But by the time it was my round again, it was crashed. It's done. It's all
they wrecked it. Yeah, usually you end up stalling them and they fall in on the tail, or you flop them over and they break the rudder off. So you just hit it with some CA and send it back up, What do you got there now, Tom Luciano?
Since I almost killed myself getting something down, I just held out.
Yeah.
Because I had the ladder up in the garage, and I was trying to stand on a chair, that was swivels.
Oh,
Wasn't a good idea.
Well,
Thanks.
don't go breaking your hip, man, because that's
right?
death for old guys, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I only got 2 years on you.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I have a question for you, Mike Blanke.
Yeah.
The pipe, is that like 1/2 inch conduit? And then how are you attaching the planes to the pipe? I know they're
Okay.
hanging by the readouts, but how are you doing all that?
Easy peasy, man. I'll show you right now. This is this pipe. This is just 1/2 inch conduit. It's EMT.
Okay.
Yeah.
They sell it. They sell it at Home Depot,
Right. Right.
And you can buy 10-foot lengths of this for, I think it's under $4 for a 10-foot length. So $4 for 10 feet. And let me get to a space here.
He had to make sure he showed us his first place plaque when he was on the way to pick that pipe up.
Oh man, I wasn't trying to do that. So it's just a hook. I find a stud up in the ceiling,
All right.
hook in it, and then I just lay these hooks like every 4 studs, every 4 feet. I put a hook and then zip tie it down so that it doesn't jump off. And what I'm using for hangers is shower curtain holders.
Oh, very cool.
I buy on Amazon. You can get 50 of them for $6 on Amazon, and they either go, right through the lead outs, or if you got connectors on them, you just hook a connector up, or they'll fit right through a lead out too.
Oh, that's very cool. I like that.
Yeah, shower.
Good
curtain.
idea.
Way cheaper than trying to bend your own hooks out of music wire or anything else like that. Like I said, you get 50 of them for $6 on Amazon.
That is very cool.
You gotta get the old shower curtain ones with the drop in it. You can't do the round ones.
Right.
Yeah, this is the kind that it'll hook together,
Right.
They're meant to
That
hook
is very cool.
You just open them up a little bit. And then I learned that. I got that from Ron Colombo in Detroit. He's a combat guy. And the first time I went to his house, he had, he's got a very small garage, and he wasn't doing anything from the ceiling. What he bought was a clothes rack on wheels. You ever seen for hanging clothes, like from a dry cleaner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dry cleaner rack for shirts and stuff on wheels. And
Right.
he had all his hooked on shower curtain rings. So that's
Very
where I
cool.
that's where I stole that idea from. I'm actually going to the next thing in the shop is going to be that space right there. So, my storage for my airplanes, I did the 2x4s with the EMT sticking out as a rack kind of thing.
Right.
For storage. I started hanging combat planes over there like that, and then I realized this space here, this is all combat stuff, and there's 22 spots there for combat airplanes, but I could put 40 of them up there if I do a rod like I did on the other spot. I measured, so for combat wings and hanging them, I can get twice the amount of airplanes in this space if I get rid of that and do a rod across the top and just hang them by the lead outs. So
I like that.
This is all going away. That's going to go away, and it's going to be the same as that there. But for the big stunt planes, that's a good option for the big stunt planes. Having them rest on the wing on the EMT with a little bit of foam pipe. For the bigger stunners that you don't want to hang, that's how I do it.
I like
That's
that.
pretty neat. Yeah, I like that.
And of course, the half-A version of this was pretty good. I mean, that's 10 airplanes in a pretty small amount of space. But I may get rid of that too, and just start hanging them by the lead outs, because I think you can get more airplanes per square foot doing it that way as opposed to that way.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem when I first moved in here because I didn't have that many airplanes. That worked, and that worked. But now, Christ, we got so many freaking airplanes. That's what I'm going to have to go to get them all here in the shop.
Right.
So there you go.
All
Yeah.
right. Doug Burright was in here.
I got to
Looks
get
like
up early in the morning, so
Yeah, my phone's freaking out. I can't make this operate well.
yeah, Doug's going out. So I'll see.
Steve, don't leave yet, man. Dude, I got a lot of RC shit from the swap meet I want to show you, man.
Oh, hurry up and show me because I gotta be in real early at a synagogue tomorrow morning,
Okay.
and they gotta have guards, so I gotta be there right at the right time and to let me in and all that kind of stuff.
All right, Rusty, can I just take over for a little bit for some more show and tell? Can I keep going?
You got it. Yeah, you got it. I'll put you on present to all too.
All right. So we went to the RC swap meet on Saturday, and I picked up this electric RC kit. All right.
Oh yeah, I've seen them. They fly well.
right. First thing, walked in the door, first table we go to, the guy says $10. It's the kit, the motor, the ESC, servos, everything. And then I dig it out, and that's what he paid for it. The Raptinator.
Yeah.
He paid $100 for the whole thing. I got that for $10. $10. That's what the airplane will look like when it's finished.
Yeah, it's pretty cool with the motor in the center of the airplane for balance or whatever.
Yeah. $10. No holla.
That's pretty good.
All right. I got to go in the other garage because that's where all the other shit is. I'm in the process of I'm doing a whole bunch of shit. My wife and kids are gone on vacation for 5 days, so I'm home alone for 5 days. So I'm doing a big clean out and all kinds of stuff. Sam is in the swap meet for 5 minutes, and he comes walking up to me with this box, this quadcopter, this Ethos drone. A guy gave it to him when we got there.
Holy shit.
Hey, if you want to get free stuff at a swap meet,
Bring
make sure you
10-year-old.
send your kid wearing
Good, yeah.
Make sure you send him wearing his 2018 National Aeromodeling Championship T-shirt.
Right.
Because, Steve knows you can't buy those. You only get one if you win the Nats, right?
Exactly.
They give you a T-shirt that says 2018 National Aeromodeling Champion.
Wow.
So this guy gave him a drone, man. And we brought it home and charged it up. Dude, and we flew the shit out of it. It was awesome. It's great. It's a pretty decent quadcopter, and it takes pictures in 1080p. It records video and everything. Ethos drone.
Is it like self-stabilizing? Are they all like that now?
Everything. We flew it in our living room. I took it off in the living room, man. It hovered, and then you can just do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, I used to be great when Samantha was like 12, 13 years old, and we go to these things and everybody give her stuff. We end up carrying bags of stuff for people gave her.
Another freebie. Sam comes to me 10 minutes later. He's like, Dad, this guy just gave me this airplane. It's like a 25 sized RC plane. There's nothing in it. There's no gear in it, but it was free. So we'll put a 25 in that. I bought this Mustang. It's got servos and a radio and retracts. I paid $25 for that. There's no motor on it. I got to put a 46 in it, but I paid $25 for that.
Damn.
For Sam. I got it for Sam because he's doing a lot more RC stuff now.
Is that foam, Mike?
I think this is a Kyosho, Tom. I'm pretty sure. This isn't. It's like some kind of printed vinyl that it's covered with. But yeah, it's a foam wing, but it's a built-up fuse. It's a built-up balsa fuse, and it's a gasser. It's nitro. It's not electric.
If that's a Kyosho, that was about a $400 or $500 kit.
Yeah, And it's
Made
got
the best.
retracts, like I said, that run off a servo. They run off a servo
Yeah.
anyway. And it needs some help, man. The hinges are, they're pulling out on it or whatever. But it's got, like I said, it's got all the servos and a receiver in it. And
Wow.
it's $25. So we'll get that going. This thing, I think this is an old Super Sportster or something. Maybe it's a low wing.
Almost looks like an Astro Hog, but it's not. I'm not sure what that
I
is.
don't think it's
Yeah, it looks more like an Astro Hog than a Sportster. That's for sure.
Yeah.
okay. It's silk and dope. It's got a Como 46 in it,
Wow.
and it has all the servos and a receiver, and that was $25.
Holy shit.
$25, man. So we snatched that up. I'm trying to get Sammy some more RC stuff because he's done with the little tiny electric shit. He can fly that stuff. So I want to get him some bigger gassers, some 40 size stuff to tear up. There's another freebie.
Wow.
F86 ducted fan electric, and it's got everything in it. All the servos, receiver, ESC. Just needs a battery. That's a foamy. And some guy gave that to Sam. I'm telling you, every 10 minutes, Sam was walking up to me going, Daddy, a guy gave me another airplane.
Wow.
I kept having to give him keys to the truck so he could lug all this shit outside, man.
Nice problem to have.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
LA 40 RC, $5.
$5.
Picked it up for $5. It's it's broke. The needles, the remote's broken off the backplate, but it's got compression, man. It's got great compression. It's good to go. I picked up my first 2.4 Spectrum radio. It's a 5-channel. I got that for $25, and I bought that so that we could put the Lemon receivers in these two airplanes and fly both planes off the same radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Me and the Spectrum too. You that little foamy may link to it.
Oh yeah, it will. I'll be able to bind that one right up too.
You got a good selection of fuel tanks.
Yep, bunch of 6 and 4 ounce fuel tanks.
Looks like 3.
A good, a nice Hayes 3 ounce tank, which are great for controlling. $1 a piece on those. $1 a piece.
Nice.
I wish they
$1
made.
a piece on those. And then this is swap related, but I picked up this Jetco Thermic 20, which I built a couple of these when I was a kid, and these were awesome kits. But what's unusual about this, or what's weird, is 2 weeks ago I ordered a Thermic 20 kit from this guy in Missouri that laser cuts old Jetco kits. So I paid $25 for this laser cut kit, and at the swap meet Saturday, I found this one brand new in the box for $10.
Wow.
For $10. But here's the kicker, man. The old Jetco kit, it came with a pre-shaped wing.
Oh
Can
yeah.
you see that?
Well.
Yeah.
I see that.
Can you see that? It's got
Yeah.
an airfoil.
Yeah,
already.
it's got an airfoil.
It's got an air. These Jetco Superflight Thermic 20s, they go for $30 to $40 on eBay, right? Because of this pre-shaped wing. They're in high demand. But I got this at the swap meet for $10.
Good
And I
price.
paid $25 for a laser cut repop, and look what I got. A
Flat.
slab
Straight
wing.
flat. Yeah. A slab.
Slab wing that I got to sand down.
Yeah.
So, but this was one of my favorites when I was a kid, man. I built a bunch of these Thermic 20s, man. And if you huck them hard enough, they'll go forever. They'll go forever. So that was a good swap meet find right there
Yeah.
as well. So yeah, that's it. I think.
Very nice.
We
Really?
did good. Sam got a bunch of free shit, and we got a couple of cheap 40-sized RC planes that he can go tear up. He's been wearing the simulator out, man. He's been on the real flight for the last 3 months. He used his birthday money to buy Real Flight 8 like 3 months ago. $180 he bought the Real Flight 8, and he's on there flying all the time.
Do you use your field radio to use the sim? How does that work?
I'm sorry?
Do you use your field radio to fly the sim on the computer?
No, it comes with one.
Uh,
It comes with a transmitter that you plug in your computer, and then you just pick what airfield, and you pick what airplane, and you pick if it's gas, electric, nitro, or a glider, or whatever. I mean, there's like 200 airplanes and 50 different fields you can fly off of.
But no control line, though, right?
You can actually buy something from them where you plug it in and you link your own transmitter to it. If you got like a 12 channel or you got mixing and all that kind of stuff that, you know, these guys who do helicopters and stuff, they use it so they can really.
Oh, there's
their radio.
On the Real Flight 8, there's already helicopters on there. There's all kinds of helicopters and drones. If it flies by remote control, it's on Real Flight 8, whatever it is.
But I mean, some of these guys got like 18 channel radios because they mix so much stuff. You see them out there flying and they're buttons, which hooks in rudder when you're doing a certain maneuver. And if you give it up, it kicks so much rudder in automatically. But yeah, these new radios mix all kinds of channels together and do different things. But it's, you know, and then they can put that on the Real Flight and for different stuff. But I know that sailplanes are the same way. That them radios anymore for them guys who are flying are just shitting $2,000 because they mix all them channels and stuff.
Yeah, we when we went to the RC field to fly Sunday, when we flew a little bit of RC, and I flew the SV-22, we took the pulse jet out there, and we ran that on one of the stands at the RC field. There was probably 30 guys out there flying Sunday. So we flew a little RC, a little control line, and I was like, hey, do you guys want to hear a pulse jet? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I put it up. You know, at the RC field, they got these tables with, you know, for starting your planes and all that shit. They got like 10 stations. Steve, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so we brought the pulse jet out. We pumped her up and started that up. And they were all blown away by that, man. They
How
loved
long
that.
can you run that before it overheats?
Like 15 seconds or so is usually what I do, you know?
You got to get air going across that
Right.
thing.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to do a static run for too long. Hey, does anybody need a little 50cc dirt bike? I'm selling that. That's on Craigslist right now.
Oh, shit.
Kids have outgrown it, man. My kids have outgrown it, so it's got to go.
Very cool.
I got a router table for sale too, man. Who needs a router table? There you go, right there.
Very nice.
Only used one time. It's on Craigslist. Who needs it? Everything's for sale, man. Mini bike for sale. Who needs a mini bike?
Are you the consummate salesman?
That's going.
Oh, an old Coleman. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's going. Dude, I'm cleaning house, man. I'm getting rid of everything. Anything I haven't touched. Steve, you might know what this is, man. This is like a tiny ass wing. They gave that to Sam. Somebody gave this to Sam. It's brand new. So that router table is probably 30 inches across. So it's a pretty small wing.
Man, I'd love to have that router table.
Where do you live?
Router table, Tom.
Huh?
What would you do with it?
Tom lives in Wisconsin.
Oh, I know. Hey, I wish you didn't live so far away.
For a second. Like,
That router table is much better than mine.
Well, I'll tell you, I paid a little over $200 for that, and I got it listed on Craigslist right now for $100, man.
Ah,
I'm not kidding. And I used it one time, Tom. I used it one time. I bought that.
well, hey, I like working with wood and stuff. I'm getting ready to build my cabinets for my kitchen.
I'd be
And,
perfect for that job.
Yeah,
I-
and I've got everything I need. I'm short a couple tools, but I've got a router table, but that one's more sweet.
It's brand new, man. I bought it and I used it for one project. When I built my shop, I used it to route some the my tool bench. I'm trying to find the right words here.
Hey,
my workbench that is on two sides of my shop. I used it to route all the corners and everything to make everything nice and smooth and look good, you know.
what the hell you got over there says USA on it? Red and silver or red and something.
That's the PA 65 ship. That's the one I flew Sunday.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that's the 65. That's the one I flew. And then the yellow one is here. The other one that's better. All this shit is in the car garage right now because I'm cleaning out my shop. This is my other garage.
65 ship. It looks like it's got a different canopy in.
It does. Yeah, the canopy is. I'll try to.
Yeah, they just put a
So
canopy on that.
it looks like it's got a big plastic canopy on it.
Yeah, that's the
Right.
SIG. That's the SIG canopy, bubble canopy.
Right. And then the other one.
That's a SIG bubble canopy turned around the other way.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yes, it's plastic for sure. Because I just squoze it and it moved. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the reason all this shit is in this garage is because, like I said, my wife and kids are gone for a week, and I'm trying to clean my shop out. So I was getting stuff out of the shop, so I'd have more room to work.
right.
Here's what's that airplane right there, man?
Wow, swept back trailing edge.
That's a radical swept back, Glenn.
Anybody?
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
I think it's called a king sweep, right? Let me move this out of the way so I can get it out here a little better. Called a king sweep.
No kidding.
That's an
And-
ugly stick tail there.
No, that's a slow stick, man.
Yeah. Well, same characteristics on the tail, but cool.
Yeah, that's just
That'd be a cool one to have.
electric foamy slow stick.
Yeah.
But, that is the king sweep. I heard it was like a classic type airplane, maybe. Mac Henry, combat guy who lives close to me, he gave me this plane a few months ago after I helped him clean out his shop. He never finished it. And this is set up for an Aero Tiger 36 is what. Let me see. Let me get it out here. It's got tricycle landing gear on it. Hang on a second. Dude, it's super light too, man.
I was gonna say for a damn Aero Tiger 36, that's a pretty small airplane.
Well, dude, it's got a pretty fat root on it, actually. It actually has a pretty big wing. If you take, because it doesn't taper from the root to the tip. It looks Yeah, it's the same from the root to the tip.
It's just they put the two halves together. They just put it at an angle.
Yeah.
You know that it's yeah, you could make a straight wing out of that if you wanted.
Well, I don't think you would. I mean, because it's a
No,
king
but I
sweep.
mean, yeah, it's the ribs aren't tapered.
It's a known design.
Wonder how that flies.
I don't think they fly that well because I read a thread on them.
That's what I did. I read too a couple of them. Everyone I read that said that these planes don't fly very well. But I don't know. I'd still like to fly one.
Yeah, because I looked it up not long ago. I searched on Stunthangar for king sweep, and they said, it's a nice classic plane, and they look awesome, but I don't I don't think they really fly that well. Now Mac probably stopped working on this airplane around, oh Christ, 2004 or 2005 when he had his stroke. Is I'm sure when he stopped working on this plane.
Oh
He
man,
had a really bad stroke then. He was a well-known combat flyer. He was on the U.S. team, going to world championships for combat for many, many years in the 80s and through the 90s. And he started to get into stunt in the late 90s and early 2000s. But then he had a stroke in 2004, 2005. So all his flying ceased after that. And I helped him liquidate all of his combat stuff about 4 years ago, and he gave me this airplane for helping him out with that. This was something he was working on when he had a stroke, and it had been hanging in his shop for 10 years when I got it. But it's very light, and I do have I've got the bottom part of the cowl.
the cow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I do have all that. And like I said, he told me it was the engine bearers were made for an Aero Tiger 36 because that's what he was going to put in it. And I actually bought the Aero Tiger that he was going to put in this airplane. I have the engine.
Cool.
So
Man,
I'd love to see it.
I'd be finishing that just to have it to just see what it flies like.
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
it is cool, but Tom, I don't know that's me. I'm probably not the guy to do that. So if I could find a home for it, that would probably be the best thing.
Tom, you
You know,
can probably do it, Justin.
I'd
That
finish
was
that thing. I'd finish that thing and just to put a motor in, just so I could wonder what it feels like. That's a cool plane, man.
Yeah, I see the lead out sticking off the tip end of the wing.
Yeah, I see
Oh
that.
yeah, they're there. There's a lead out guide there, and plenty to do what you got to do with. Mac was the guy. He flew control line forever, man. And like I said, he was on the U.S. team for combat many, many, many times. Went to the World Championships. He just the stroke he had when he was 67 or 68 just put him down. He's still around. He's still alive. He lives about 4 miles away from me. He's just down the road, and I go over and visit with him and chat with him from time to time.
That's cool.
But his mind's all still there. His body just doesn't work enough for him to fly anymore.
Oh,
That's the problem.
doggone it. I know what that stroke is all about.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that you go over there and visit him because he probably enjoys that a lot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You ever take him out and take him to an event or something?
Well, not an event. I've tried to get him to come out and just fly with us, or just come out and watch us fly. But it's always, he says he wants to do it, but then when I call him and tell him, like we're going tomorrow, let's go, he he just says, I'm not feeling up to it. I don't think I can do it today. You know,
No,
I keep trying though. I keep
he
I keep
might
trying.
be. He might be saying because since he can't fly no more, if he sometimes, you know, like my dad, he was a professional motorcycle racer, and after he retired, he couldn't go back and see another race.
Yeah,
He
I,
just can't do that.
I'm sure that has something to do with it. But I keep telling Mac, I'm like, dude, I'll bring out an office chair, you know, and just sit in a chair, and I'll put a combat plane in your hand and just try to do figure eights or something. And if you stuff it, oh well, you know, so what?
Yeah.
I mean, I won't stop trying to get him to come out, but
Hey,
I haven't been successful so far. Like I said, he says, call me, you know, I want to come out and watch. I want to see you and your boy fly. But then when I do call him and tell him we're going to fly, he there's an excuse why he can't come, you know. So
yeah.
I probably just got to go over there and kidnap his ass. I need to tell him I want to take
That's
him out.
exactly what you got to do.
I need to tell him I'm going to take him out to breakfast and then just drive to the field.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Just hey, I'm going to buy you steak and eggs for breakfast, and then just take him to the field. You know.
Good
Yep.
idea.
So, well, Rusty, that's it. That's all I got. That's all our swag from the swap meet.
Okay, well, that was a good show and tell.
Yeah.
And I got
We did really good, man. I was pretty happy we went to that deal, man.
Was that up
Pat.
in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin? No, Nashville.
Oh, Nashville.
Pat out on YouTube was asking about the flaps. He wasn't sure how they worked. He was calling them ailerons, but I was explaining to him in the text box that they work opposite of the stabilizer, or rather of the elevator. So when you pull up and the elevator pushes the tail down, the flaps go down to help lift the wing up and gives it more authority in the turns. So it lets you fly more accurate shapes. He was asking.
Would we like a demonstration of that, Rusty?
Sure. Okay, Pat, we got you. He says, now I see how you guys make all those fast moves. It's for accurate moves, actually.
Yeah, that's all about it. All about it. From the time you flew the first piece, all the way to the end of the handle, all the way flying, and your maneuvers got to be perfect, accurate.
What kind of demonstration you got, Mike? Okay,
Well,
here we go.
I just pulled down. Hey, Steve, you recognize this airplane?
Showtime.
Yeah. That's a super spider.
That's Dick's. Dick
Yeah.
Dick Imhoff's airplane. He
Yeah.
actually it's not the one he gave to Sam. He donated that to the Nats beginner prize table. And when Sam won beginner at the Nats, that's what Samuel chose right there.
Yeah, that was one of Dick's best flying airplanes that he donated because he said he weren't going to donate junk. So
No, he won intermediate at Brodax with this airplane. And I think he won the Nats with this the year before.
that could be, yeah. That might
Yeah.
be the one with, yeah.
Dick won intermediate at the Nats, and for sure. He won either intermediate or Brodax at the Nats with this airplane.
Can you operate the controls and let's show Pat what it looks like when you go up and down?
I will, Rusty. Sorry. So there's your lead outs. Up line, down line. So at neutral, that's about neutral. Now if I pull the up line, the elevator goes up. I'm going to try to get a good. Elevator goes up, the flaps go down. You pull the down line, the elevator goes down, and the flaps go up. Is that showing good, Rusty? I
That's
can't really.
Oh,
showing
yeah.
perfect. Yeah,
Cool.
that's perfect.
Okay,
Yep.
so up elevator. I don't have it set real good there. Let's try this. Down elevator, up flap. Up elevator, down flap.
And you usually give the elevator a little bit more deflection than you do the flap too.
Yep.
But change the ratios until it's trimmed right. But anyway, that lets that flap in front helps lift up or push down the front axis of the plane, so that you can more accurately track a perfect circle than you can with just an elevator, an unaided elevator.
Guys, I'll see you Friday.
Okay, Steve, thanks for hanging in.
See you later.
See you,
Steve,
Steve.
thanks for hanging out for the show and tell. From
Yeah,
the
you did good at that show, I tell you that.
We did okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
See ya. That's one thing. My first lead out, it's always down, because if I fly on on tall grass all the time, that if one of them thistle weeds grabs my lead out and
It'll
I
nose
have
it
that
over.
first up,
Yeah.
the airplane wants to go up and come right at me off the ground.
Yeah, if
Slap.
the front line is down, then you will nose it over. And
Yeah.
I always like to have the up line in the rear and the down line in the front.
Yeah, me too. But then again, I hate having to, put my bell crank, especially on a profile and everything, on the side where the exhaust is.
Yeah, it's better to have it on the inboard side. That's the only complaint I got with my Twister, is that I could have changed it, but I just built it to plans, and the controls are on the exhaust side.
Yeah, all mine's on the exhaust side, except for except for my buildup, the inverted engine. Then it's
Yeah.
okay. But that's inside the fuselage, so you wouldn't
Right.
even have to worry about that. Just only on a profile, I guess. But oh well.
I fly, at the RC field, it's pretty rough where we fly. It's not always cut super nice. I'm just always, whenever I launch off, my hand is up over eye level when I launch.
Yeah.
I don't, you only do that one or two times when you launch from the hip or mid-level and catch a weed and lose an airplane. After that, you start raising your hand,
Mhm. Yeah, I've had one fly right over my head, and I'm just like, I don't know whether to run away or wave at it.
Yeah. I made me another set of landing gear, taller ones if I need it.
Well, even taller gear ain't gonna help you if you snatch a weed. If you're launching from level, normal on asphalt, you get spoiled, man. On a paved circle,
You can do beautiful.
you leave from here so low, but when you're flying on anything that's just grass all the way, and a lot of us fly from rough fields, I'm just
That's me.
like this when I go. I always leave like this. I don't ever leave down here. I always leave up here.
Steve McBride's coming in.
Steve's coming in. What happened to Doug Burright, man? He wasn't there very long.
He seemed to be having computer problems.
Computer problems. Okay.
Yeah, his camera went out, and then he finally got it. It looks like T-Bone's gone too.
Who?
Tom Luciano.
Oh, he
I called him
left
T-Bone.
a long time ago.
What's going on, Steve?
Oh, not much. Had a good weekend flying this weekend. Weather was great. Weather was nice. Got a lot
Oh,
of good.
good. Yeah, we had a couple of people, 3 people that I know of flying this weekend.
Yeah.
Mike, Charles, and you.
Yeah, this weekend the weather was nice. Weather was really nice. Got some good flying in with the Patriot. Hello.
How many did you put up?
What's that?
How many did you put up?
I put up 5 flights on Saturday and 4 on Sunday.
Wow.
Had Sunday I couldn't even put it on Sunday, but we had quite a few guests and people that came around, so that was enjoyable as well. We had Pat Johnson that stopped by, Tony Drago came by, and a couple of other club members came by as well. So we had a nice crowd that was around on Sunday, but the weather was gorgeous. And the Patriot really is coming alive.
That's good, man. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, that Patriot's really coming alive. On Saturday, I flew it and I started to work with it again and getting comfortable with it. And I started to really get comfortable with it on Saturday. Sunday, I went out and started really pointing and putting it and tightening up the pattern. And it was right on. It was tracking right on, right where it needed to be.
Hey, that's good news, man. Happy for you.
Hey,
Thank
you
you.
guys remember that chop saw I bought about a week or so ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got to test it out. I figured it'd be a good idea to give it a little run in just to make sure the brushes are seated, the bearings are seated. So I just ran it unloaded for about 3 minutes, and I heard the motor waver a little bit, so I went ahead and turned it off and got some brass tube and put it in there, and it made really nice cuts. And I was gentle. The instructions said to, try not to go too fast, and it cut off really nice, neat pieces of the tube until the motor burned up.
Oh no!
Oh,
It quit dead.
What?
It's shit.
oh man. So you
They
can take it
got-
back on the break. They have at least a 90-day warranty, I think, right?
He gave me a refund. He doesn't want it back either. So I found an old motor laying around. This is nothing like the one that was in it, but I don't know what I got maybe I can put a propeller on it and tack it and see what RPMs it turns. It's probably too slow, and it doesn't look like it's got a lot of torque either. So I don't know
What
if
was that for, Rusty?
So what?
What was that for?
It was for the little 2-inch chop saw that I bought.
Okay.
And hold on, I'll show you.
No, what was the motor for that you were holding up?
I don't remember. I've had more electrical junk since I was a child, and it just happened to be here. Something I've had in the drawer for ages. But
No, that little electric motor you were holding up there.
here's
That's I want to see a picture of
the
it.
saw right there. 2-inch chop saw. But yeah, the motor in it was a piece of junk.
Let's see that motor. Let's see that motor again you had just up there.
What kind of motor? Is this what you're asking? What kind of motor?
That
Let me see
what
that
is
motor
that?
again.
I don't remember. I've
put it
had
up on
more
the screen.
things
Let
with
me take a look
motors
at that.
in them than I could ever recall. I have no idea what it came from.
Hold on a second here. Let me look at that. We'll click you up here so I can see it bigger here.
Yeah, let me click on so YouTube guys can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I can click on present too. That'll show it big to everybody. Except it's not presenting. Present to everyone. There we go. Now it's presenting to everyone. It is only
Yeah, it's got top and the bottom. Let me see where your
Okay.
right hand is. Move your right hand off the top of it. There we go.
It's only 0.21 amp.
Yeah, it's a little bat. You get those in. You get that motor at Home Depot. Let me see the
Really?
top of it. Where you had your right hand there. Yeah, you can get a replacement like that at Home Depot. Go to the plumbing department
Yeah.
and Home Depot. The bathing source for them motors will
Well,
go
the
right back.
motor that's in the saw is about this long and that big around and
Okay.
shaped like that.
There's some confusion going on, Steve. The
This
motor
is
he's holding up is something that he had, not the motor in the saw.
right.
Okay, yeah, because that motor I can get at Home Depot.
Yeah. Well, I got this motor. I don't have any idea what speed it turns or how much torque, but it's only got.
That was like a 50 CFM. That motor was like
It's only an 11-watt motor, so it doesn't have a lot of power.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was just thinking of messing with it. I can make it fit if I had to. It'll fit inside the saw. It won't have the same footprint at all. But anyway, that's kind of funny. I wondered how long that saw was going to last, and I didn't think I was going to find out that soon.
Yeah.
That's disappointing because nobody else makes. They got one at Harbor Freight, but it's identical. Every 2-inch chop saw I've seen looks like it came off the same assembly line.
Okay.
And I told you my experience with the Harbor Freight one.
Table, yeah,
It wasn't a chop saw; it was a table saw.
right, yeah,
Yours was actually a chop saw.
that's right, yeah.
But I bought the Harbor Freight table saw with a 4-inch blade.
And you said it wouldn't even cut 1/4-inch balsa.
Wouldn't cut 1/4-inch balsa.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I got a jigsaw from them, and that thing works great.
I got a scroll saw from them, and it worked for 3 years and just quit one day.
Yeah, but what was it? $100 or
79. Yeah.
I mean, you know, what are you gonna do?
It was worth 3 years.
120 bucks for that. 120 bucks for the jigsaw. 119, 120 bucks for the jigsaw. That thing
David
works
Phelps
great.
from Raleigh is going to bring a Dremel saw, a Dremel scroll saw to me at Huntersville, so I'll have a replacement. Yeah, and David
that Dremel table.
or Dennis, let's see, somebody else. Don Jenkins told me he had one too if I needed it. So I got, if I can get them, I'll be up to my ears in scroll saws.
All right.
It's inconvenient as hell to not have an electric saw of any kind, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the upside of running my pulse jet at the RC field the other day on Sunday, out of the 20 guys that were standing around watching it, a guy came up to me afterwards and he goes, you know, I got one of those. I've got a Dynajet that a friend of mine gave me like 10 years ago, and I could never get it running. Would you be interested in buying it?
All right.
I was like, yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. You know,
Good for
so
you, Mike.
I may be getting a 5th pulse jet here off a guy
Wow.
from the RC field. I mean, I'll give him a fair price. I got to see it. He said it's vintage, but it depends on if everything's there and what the pipe looks like and all that. Because I said, is it like new in the box? He said, no, it's been run. It's been run and there's no box and no papers. And I was like, what's the pipe like? And he's like, oh, there's a few dings in it and this and that. I said, well, if it's a runner, you know, it's 150 to 175, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, if it was brand new in the box, you're looking at, you know, $300 to $500. But he's like, I'm never going to use it. You look like you do use them. So maybe I can sell it to you. I was like, yeah, you know, I'll give you a fair price. So maybe another Dynajet coming my way. We'll see.
Maybe.
Cool.
Hey, did the other guy buy that 15 motor from you, Mike? You ever get back to you?
Rusty said that he sent me an email tonight, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
For his wife's airplane. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I went looking to see where I found the adapter for the turbo plug for that little half A engine you had, and I looked on X model engines. It's gone.
Yeah,
I couldn't find
I
any
did.
trace of it.
Did too. Yeah, for the VA, it's not there. I'm gonna call Doug Galbraith and see what he can do for me. But yeah, Chris Hornady, I didn't get a chance to talk to him tonight, Steve. But Rusty said before
Okay.
I got on that he had emailed me. I think I told him $45 shipped. I think is what
Something
I.
like that. Yeah. I don't remember what it was. You were somewhere around there. 40 or 50. You were
I
150
believe I
bucks.
remember saying 45. Yeah.
I just
Yeah, I
was
think
buying it
45.
for his wife. His wife wanted an airplane, and he was building that for his wife. I said, "Hey, that's a nice deal if that worked out for the both of you."
Yeah,
That's what I was looking
45
at.
ship. I mean, that's half the price of a new one if he doesn't mind
Can't
the
beat
broken
that.
lug. Because it was gonna, if he doesn't want it, it's gonna go to eBay, and I know I'll get 50 or 60 on eBay, even with the broken lug. Man, guys don't care. It's a new engine. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's
Like we were saying, you could JB weld that ear and fix that ear even.
right. But if it helps Chris out, he can have it for 45. You know.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I know you said you wanted to do that for his wife. I thought that was a nice gesture
Yeah.
both ways.
I'm gonna be selling all kinds of shit here, man. Rusty, I got a ton of half A cock stuff.
I don't need no hockey shit.
I'm gonna be selling plastic ready to fly planes. And
I don't need no half-face stuff. I don't know how to.
no, I know, but you know, in the control line buying selling on Facebook, there's been a lot of activity with half A stuff. I just sold a set of ME 109 wings, Rusty, the Cox wings, the blue wings, for
Yeah.
$35 to a guy.
Oh,
Oh,
dude. You're talking about that half a ME 109 with the blue foam wings?
Yeah.
My very first airplane that my mom and dad bought me for Christmas in 1976. I was 12 years old, and I want to find one of them. I want to get one of them. I used to fly it. I was pretty good at it. First, I started. It come with a little trainer clevis device that went on the stabilizer to the elevator and held it level.
Yeah.
And then as you progress, you would be able to take that thing off. And that thing was pretty stunt worthy.
Right. Well, this is just a set of wings, okay?
$75. Man, I
No,
can't
no,
afford
no.
that, but man, I'd love to have them.
No, $35. Just the wings.
Oh,
Only the wings. But Cox, okay, so Cox made the ME 109 Stunner, which was modeled after the Super Stunner, the Chipmunk. So the ME 109 Stunner wings were these blue foam wings. These were replacement wings, but if you bought these wings, they came with a plan for what was called the Balsa Butcher, okay, which was a profile Balsa ME 109 that you could build with these wings.
wow.
I'll show them here. I'll go.
Wow.
I'll
That
show
would be
you
cool.
that the wing kit came with a set of plans to build a Balsa Profile 049 stunner called the Balsa Butcher. But this cat on Facebook has been piecemealing together an ME 109 stunner, and he wanted an extra set of wings for it. I have an extra set of wings, so I contacted him and said, "I'll sell you these wings."
Wow.
But let me get the wings and the plans. This is really cool. I'm not going to do anything with them because I don't half a stunt stuff and old Cox shit. I'm getting rid of all of it. I'm getting ready to sell a bunch of stuff, and that's what I was telling Rusty. I think I'm going to list it on the Facebook Control Line Flying page before I do on Cox Engine Forum, because it's easier to post pictures on the Facebook page than it is on the Cox Engine forum, Rusty.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard to do that. I still haven't figured out how to put a damn picture on the Cox Engine forums.
Oh, okay.
So
Hey guys, I'm gonna jump. I gotta go.
Okay, Charles.
Bye,
Take it easy,
Charles.
man. We'll
All
see you
right.
Friday, I hope.
All right, see you Friday.
Wow. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get that Cox airplane, ME 109, just to have, because to me it's nostalgic to me.
Yeah. I don't want any more Cox planes, but I might, you know, if you got any TDs or medallions, I might pick one up, one or two.
All right, Rusty, you want to present here for a minute?
Yeah, sure. Hang on just a second, and I'll get you. And all right, you're on.
Okay, so this is a set of Cox wings for the ME 109 right here. And I'm not going to fold them, but you fold these in half, right? That's
Yeah.
one wing panel. You fold that in half, and then you got an airfoil. Here's the other wing panel, Tom.
Wow.
Then you've got these are the wings for the Cox ME 109 airplane. Okay, but what you got in a bag? These came in a. I don't have the original label anymore, but they came in a bag like this, and across the top it said Cox ME 109 Balsa Butcher or whatever. And in this bag, you also received. I got to be real careful here because this is old.
Well, don't damage
fine.
your my account.
Fine, it's fine.
Okay. Ah. Oh wow. Check that out.
Let me see. We'll get right down there. So it's called the Focke-Wulf 109. If you got a good look at all that.
Actually, it says 190.
190. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it backwards in my phone.
Wow.
This is called the Balsa Butcher. Let's see here. So that's the profile, and they give you all the dimensions. You build that out of balsa wood.
It's a good looking plane.
Fuselage,
Yep.
the rudder, the elevator, everything is right there, and it shows you the up front there where the bell crank goes and how to do the engine mount and all this. So you could basically take.
Oh wow, they put the bell crank. They put the bell crank in the wing.
Inside the wing, yeah, on the spar, because you put just a short spar in it to do it.
Yeah, the original one, there was one plastic spar that went down.
Right. Well, this is a cheap way to make that same airplane because you could buy the foam wings and then do a balsa version of everything else.
Yeah.
Make a profile balsa. It's called the Balsa Butcher.
Man.
What they called it. The plans came with the wing set, with the replacement wing set.
Wow. Man, I'd really love to have that. Oh well. Wow. That would be
And this is a full-size plan too. This is actually a full-size plan.
yeah.
Believe it or not.
That is cool.
If it wasn't already spoken for, Tom, I'd send it to
Yeah.
you. But I promise this guy.
Man, I wish I had a deal to where you could copy the plans before you got rid of it. Oh well. They're out there, you know, no biggie.
Well, they're no good without wings, though. I mean, you really gotta have the wings to do the deal.
Oh yeah.
They do. They come up for sale on eBay occasionally. I mean, that's where I bought these. I bought 3 sets of these for $60. I paid $60 for 3 sets of wings with the plans and the whole deal. And I gave one away. I sold one, and now I'm selling the other one. I mean, I'm selling these for $35 with shipping, so I'm gonna make probably $7 on them. You know.
Yeah. Man, that's cool, man. Yes, sirree. But you know, at least now I know what I'm looking for. What what I could, that FW 190. That's a big help right there in itself.
Yeah, just look up Cox foam wings, man. I mean, that's.
Well, I tell you what, I flew a lot of Cox airplanes, in my day, when I was younger. And it was really cool because Cox were putting them things out. And I had 3 or 4 kids my age. And one of the kids, man, I don't know, his parents had lots of money. And he was buying all kinds of different. As soon as the Cox airplane come out with a new plane, he had it.
Oh, wow.
I mean, he had everything you could possibly think of. In fact, you go in his garage today, and he's got most of them there already. They're just wonderful.
Well,
And he used to let me fly all his because I used to fly him and not crash him, So I taught him how to fly, and he'd always say, "Hey, test this new airplane out." And so he started flying really good. So what I did was my only Cox airplane that I had at that time was that ME 109, and I said, "Okay," I said, "Here, I want you to fly this." I said, "This is like the best flyer out of all the Cox airplanes," and it was to me. And anyway, he flew it, and he wasn't used to the controls being so radical like that he crashed it. And that was the end of the ME 109.
Here's what I got going on the bay here soon. The F-18 Hornet.
Yeah, I built them for a living for a long time. For the real.
I don't remember what that one is called back there, but that one's going. I'm keeping the WinMac, the Sprite IndyCar, because we still run that. But I got the P-39 Aero Cobra. That's going East Bay.
Hey, Mike, go back to that car for just a second. It's got, what do the controls do?
They don't. That's just a handle laying there, Rusty.
Oh, okay. I thought they were connected. I was like, what?
That got
well,
Rusty. What the hell you got going on there?
The handle, when I pull up on the handle, the car does a loop. When I go down, it doesn't. Yeah, no, the handle laying there was incidental, Rusty.
All right.
All right, so the P-39 Aero Cobra, that one's going. The Star Wars X-Wing Fighter, that one's going. The Testers P-51 Mustang with the pipe bomb engine, that one's going. The Cox Slipstream.
Wow.
That one's going. I don't know if you can see this way back there, but that's a Cox backdraft. I think is pusher backdraft. That one's going. And there's some remnants of a PT-19 there. That shit's going.
Is there a fuselage in good shape?
There's a fuselage and 2 wings, and then there's another fuselage.
Okay, I might have to take that.
Right there. That's going. There's hang on, that's Sam's electric RC. There's a
Any TDs or
I think it's
medallions
the
on my.
F-15 or the Cox Wings, whatever they called it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going. All this shit's going, man. All this Cox stuff is going, except for the. Well, it's not Cox, but it's the Tester's Sprite car.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one, Rusty, you don't see often. I forgot about this. I kind of glassed over that. You see what that is, Rusty?
Is that a P40?
That's
No,
a
it's a
Spitfire,
Spitfire.
man.
Spitfire.
Spitfire.
That's a
That's a
nice one.
1965 Cox Spitfire, man.
Wow. That is cool.
That's going too.
Looks like it's got some battle damage, but
Oh,
yeah.
a bunch.
Yeah, it does.
It's a parts airplane. It's a parts airplane.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, we just don't fly any of that stuff anymore, and a lot of it, I in the early 2000s, I wanted to have a lot of the Cox planes that I never could have when I was a kid, and I bought them, and then I flew them, and now they're just sitting there. So they're going up for sale.
Looks like Pat's an old Cox fan. He says one of his most prized plastic models is the Cox Cheetah Car 125th scale static model, and could also be made into a slot car. It was very rare, but he found one unbuilt, and says we used to race Cox dragsters side by side at the Ford Drag Club on Woodward Avenue at Stark Hickley Ford dealership. A chute would open at the end of at the top end. Also had a chaparral. Oh, a chaparral. My friend, when we were doing slot cars at the slot car place that you would take your car to and race on the big track, a friend of mine had a chaparral, and I had a 7 GTO.
Did he say Woodward Avenue, and he's talking about the Eliminator dragster?
Let's see. He said,
if he's talking about Woodward Avenue, he's from Detroit, man.
Yeah. I think so. Let's see. He said the drag club on Woodward Avenue at Stark Hickley Ford dealership. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Detroit guy.
Yeah.
We had a couple of the Eliminator dragsters. We used to run them down in Rouge Park. I wasn't familiar that anybody on Woodward Avenue was dragging Eliminators, but that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Chris Hornady, are you hearing me?
He's back.
I'm back. What's up, guys?
There you go.
All right. Rusty said you sent me an email.
Yeah, I hit you up on Stunthangar. I found you.
Okay, so you want that engine?
Yes, sir.
All right, $45 shipped. Is that good?
Sounds good to me. Send me your PayPal.
Okay. All right. Broken lug. Just no, send me a check. I'd rather you do a check so we don't have to pay fees or anything. I'll send you you put your mailing address on there?
I think so. If not, I'll send you another one.
Okay. PM me with your mailing address. I'll PM you back and just send me a check. I don't want to do PayPal with any fees or any bullshit. Just send me a check for $45. I'll get the engine out to you in the next day or two. When you get it, you can look at it, and if you want it, send me the $45.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get it. We'll get it taken care of.
Okay.
But I appreciate you. That'll go great on the front of that little clown. So.
Break it in some more, I think.
Yeah. What's the recommendation fuel for breaking that in? I know Brodex runs 11.5 in their fuels, but.
I'd say 22% oil.
Yeah.
10% nitro. Just put it on the bank. Run a little more, or put it on the airplane and just run it a little sloppy for a while.
Yeah, I'll probably put it on hers anyway and run it sloppy just to kind of keep it slower for her. So
little breaking in the air.
That's the most fun way to break them in.
Break it in the air.
So Rusty, what of my Cox airplane emporium would you like to buy?
I don't want any of that stuff except if you've got a PT-19 with the front end of the fuselage intact, I would get that from you.
Oh, I think that's $100 bill, Rusty.
I'll have to skip that, Mike.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you, man. I'll give you the damn thing. I'll send it to you, man.
We'll bring it to Huntersville.
Hey, remember he's got the control panel, Mike.
He's got that PT-19. That was one of their best
Give
spots.
him a good deal. He'll just shut your ass off.
Well,
He wasn't looking very close because both of those fuselages were busted as shit, I think.
I saw one of them was pretty bad. The front end of my PT-19 is now balsa. I actually molded balsa to fix my PT-19, but the tail end now, where the elevator sits, a little hinge, half round hinge is broken off of it. So
this one is almost held together at the front. I bought this at the flea market. Somebody painted it primer gray, if you can believe that. I bought it like this at the Nashville flea market, but it's a little chipped in the front, but it's still together.
that's okay. If it's still together, I can brace that too, with a little strip of fiberglass and epoxy. But that would work.
They even painted over the rondelles on the look at. They
Oh,
put gray
crap.
primer over the rondelle. You can see where it's lifting up.
Yeah.
And the stickers beneath. I got that for $10 at the Nashville swap meet.
Is the tail end of it where the elevator hinge is intact?
Oh man, you're gonna make me dig all this shit out of here.
No, don't worry about it. If it's not, I'll just have to fix it. That's what's so broken on mine. It's actually Al's plane, but it's the only plane he's ever owned.
Oh god, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, both of those half round seats for the hinge are there. That's what's broken on mine. So yeah.
Both of those are there. That's broken right there. There's
that's not a problem.
there.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'll take that off your hands.
Still got the guys in there, man.
I don't know if I've got my pallets. I sure don't have the windshields. Mine had just little framework windshields, and they're both busted off.
Here's the other one. Now, obviously, later model. Look at these guys. Blue helmets all the way, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
later
is.
model. Of course, this one's busted as shit. But, you know, this is the one Sam and I fly on PT-19 day, man.
Yeah.
We strap it together and we fly it, you know. And then the wing on that one is suspect at best. But look,
yeah.
they just spray painted over the rondelle on the wing. That one's gone.
Yeah, see.
That one's still there. But all in all,
hey, Rusty.
Still pretty good. That's two airworthy planes, man. If you wanted to chop them together and put a motor in them, they fly. We fly the blue and yellow one.
Yeah, I'll take that gray one off your hands.
Yard just for shits and grins.
Yeah, I'll take that gray one off your hands. Just bring it to Huntersville. Yeah, I appreciate that. That'll give me something to fly on PT-19 day.
Yeah, okay. You can have it for $125.
I'll trade you a Sterling Mustang kit for it. No, wait, that cost me $50. So.
Do you have an elevator and a rudder?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you the wing and the fuselage. You can have it, Rusty.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, that sounds great, Mike. Thanks.
You might be able to, if you're careful, you could probably strip that primer off it and get it back to the blue and yellow that it is.
Yeah, I was just thinking that probably
I
would
don't
come
know.
off pretty easy.
Well, for free, you can do whatever you want with it. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that primer will probably come off with some turpentine or something. I don't know.
yeah, but I'm not sure what engine mount is in there because all the PT19s had different mounts.
Different stuff. Yeah, I'll work with it.
Some of them had a rubber band that you could change the incidence and the motor.
I think all of them had that.
I don't think they all did they?
From the first one I had in the 60s to the last one that I've got from the 2000s had it. You could change it from trainer mode all the way up to expert mode.
Well, yeah, you know what? I guess you're right. And then, okay, all right. Here's an interesting thing that I just remembered. So this was the version I had when I was a kid, with the two. Okay, you're right on
Yeah.
novice to expert, and then you had the two fill valves, right?
Right.
And this one has the integral tank built in.
I've never seen one like that.
Oh, yeah.
This is a 70s model here.
My very early one.
This is an early 70s model because this is what I learned on, and it had the two nipples for filling and vent, and it had integral tank. That's your gas tank right there.
Yeah.
And that one, actually, the nipple is broken off. So you're going to have to mod that. You'll have to fix that.
Yeah, that's what toothpicks are made for.
Right. But the later models
had the snap-in tank.
That tank.
That's what I've got. That's mine there.
And that little float.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Float.
Mine's the black thing's missing out of mine now.
Snap-in tank. Snap-in tank.
Yeah.
But also the different wedges there to stick the engine for novice to expert, which is all cracked out.
Yeah.
Here. You can't even see it anymore. But no, this is what I learned on right here, man. This one, two nipples on top, integral tank, and look at the way the pilots are mounted in there.
Oh, yeah, that's different from either one I've had.
That's the bottom of the pilots right there. That big old plastic mount in there is what holds those two guys. Listen, man, do you not remember the now his scarf is broken off on him, but he's got a full scarf there. This is what I learned on in the 70s.
Yeah.
Plastic window, pilot with a scarf, red scarf and a white scarf. Look at this cat, man. Is he like gritting his teeth, man?
Oh yeah, man. He's flying through flak and everything.
And then if we look at these pilots, they're so different, man.
That's what I have now. That's what Al's plane looks like.
No window. They got goggles on, no scars.
Yeah, my window frames are busted off now.
I don't think these ever had frames in them, Rusty. I think that's the way these came.
I'm calling what you got. I'm calling what you got there frames. I mean, those little A-frames that are sticking up.
Okay, but they never had glass in them.
No, mine didn't.
This is absolutely a later model. Look, all the paint's gone off of him from all the nitro hitting him in the face.
Yeah, it sprays out of that little vent on top.
Yeah, but these guys are in exceedingly good shape, man.
That's cool. Hopefully that fuel tank will work all right. I'll plug the bottom of it. and after I clean it out, the fuel
Well,
tank
I'll
does
tell
not
you what,
come
man.
off, does it?
Guys on Cox Engine Forum, they buy these just for the windows, man, and the pilot. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Just for the pilots and the windows.
I don't care about any of that shit.
Some people just buy it just to have it, just to be an old time collector on that.
Yeah. Well, you can have them, Rusty. I'll bring you the gray one. You can. I'm not going to give you the blue one because we still fly that. That one's still airworthy to us, and Sam
Yeah,
can fly that one in the driveway.
yeah,
But
that's cool.
I'll bring you the gray one in the wing, and you can have it.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Jack Natalie asked, did the one from the 2000s have a cast crankcase in it? I'm thinking no. I think they had regular B crankcases, the extruded crankcase.
You know, we were at the RC swap meet Saturday, and one of the guys from the club, actually the RC club, who was there. I got there too late on Saturday, and when we saw him on Sunday at the field, he said, "Oh, I sold a Cox PT19 for $20." And I was like, "Which one?" He goes, "Well, it wasn't. It was he. The guy he owned a hobby shop in Huntsville, Alabama, and they closed up like 10 years ago. But he still has. He says he has like 400 kits and all kinds of parts and stuff. And he said he sold 50 kits at the swap meet. But he said I had a PT19 and I sold it for $20. I said, which one? And he goes, it wasn't the yellow and blue one. He said it was the red and white one.
Oh shit, that's a rare one.
The red and white one, brand new in the box, unrun, Rusty. Brand new in the box, unrun. He said the box was shit. The box was really bad. He said the box was horrible, but the airplane inside the box was brand new.
Oh man,
$20. So that was Saturday at the RC swap meet.
Wow.
I saw him Sunday at the RC field, and we were talking, and he told me he sold that plane for $20, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I said that. He said the plane inside was mint, unrun. I'm like, that's like $100 airplane, $150 airplane on eBay. But I got there too late on Saturday to get it.
You were there, you couldn't get a $20 bill out fast enough.
Well, it wasn't there because I went to his table. Sam and I went to his table, but that airplane wasn't there. And then Sunday when we saw him, I said, "Hey, how'd you do? What'd you sell?" And he saw us flying control line. And he said, "Hey, I sold a control line plane yesterday." I was like, "What was it?" He goes, "A PT19." And I was like, "Oh my God, what?" He's like, "PT19, brand new in the box." I was like, "Oh." So, well, you never know. You miss out on some stuff, you know. And he didn't know what he had, and he let it go for nothing, you know.
I was I had a TD with a red integral tank, or not integral, but a tank mount, kind of like the Norvell rear
Yeah,
tank, only it's red.
yeah, the
And
red
those will
tank.
fit perfectly, size wise, just not the bolt pattern into a PT19. And I was putting one of those in my PT19, but now that's the engine I've got in my Hyper Viper. I took the tank off, of course, but I got another TD. I might put it in the PT19 or a medallion. That'd be the smart thing. Put a medallion in it. It'll run on the suction tank.
Yeah, it would be. Hey, Rusty, are you on the control line engine exchange?
No.
on Facebook?
I don't do anything on Facebook. I got a Facebook account, but I
I
never
know you
do
do.
anything.
You're never on it. You're not in the Balsam Model Builders Group or the Control Line Flying on Facebook.
I'm in
Man,
the control line flying group.
you you need to look on there a little more often, man, because
I know because y'all talk about stuff, but when I go to find it, it's so far down the list that I never can find it.
it's not so far down. Look, you need to subscribe to it. You need listen. I understand your stunt hanger and you're doing these hangouts with for Sparky and stuff for Control Line, and that's awesome. But there's a whole nother big world out there on Facebook that is Control Line. Okay, so Control Line Flying and Control Line Engine Exchange. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and you should cross over a little bit and be a little more active on Facebook. And you could promote the Stun Hanger chat a little more.
Yeah, I could do that over there for sure.
You
Well,
absolutely could.
I'll try to make a point of looking in more often and then
You
getting familiar
should
with it.
be you should be on the Control Line Flying site promoting Stunt
but
Hanger
I,
chat.
I know it. Sparky gets really pissed off when someone mentions it. You know,
I don't
What
know
time?
anything about that.
really, he has to me. He one time got mad and said, "Well, we'll just shut down Stunthanger and just go to Facebook then." Didn't like that very well.
Well, no, Sparky's not going to go to Facebook because he had a Facebook page and he deleted it because he thinks that Mark Zuckerberg works for the fucking CIA, man. Sorry
Yeah.
for the language again, but
Well, I don't give a crap about any of that because I've been in the government. They've got my DNA and everything else, so I don't give a shit. I don't say nothing. I just do my own thing, and if I want to get on Facebook or get on somewhere, I go. That don't bother me.
no, it don't bother me either. But Sparky
Yeah.
thinks Zuckerberg works for the CIA, so he shut down the Stunt Hanger Facebook page, which I think was a mistake because there's a lot of guys.
I'm
I'm
telling you,
telling
man, there is.
I'm
Right?
on the I'm on the Control Line site and the Control Line Engine Exchange, and the Pampa site is. They all have Facebook pages. There's thousands of guys out there flying freaking Control Line, building airplanes that aren't on Stunt Hanger, but they're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now they're posting videos on Facebook that aren't, and I'm not seeing it on YouTube. So that's another reason I need to get over
They
there.
are. They're putting
You,
shit on Facebook. They're putting pictures of airplanes they build. They're posting videos of what they do on the weekend, their clubs, they're flying, all their shit. And these are guys that they're not on Stunt Hanger because maybe they don't know about Stunt Hanger or they just feel like Facebook is a better option
yeah,
to reach more people.
I went on the
But
Control Line Flying Facebook page a couple of days ago to see if I could find people building the Hyper Vipers, the one little CNC Hyper Vipers, and I found one guy, but it didn't show anything that I didn't already know, and it had one or two pictures, and that was all.
right,
But
right.
yeah. Do you know if there's more than what I found of people building those out there? Because
No, just the one guy I told you about that
yeah,
was posting on there, but that guy is not posting on Stunt Hanger. He's posting on the Facebook page, and you'll find a lot more guys posting their builds who aren't uh, competition stunt guys, just
right.
guys that are sport flyers and flying Control Line with their kids or their grandkids, or guys just doing shit in their uh, off the radar place where they live, who aren't competition guys that go to Stunt Hanger.
Okay, I'll take your advice and try to move into that a little bit more because I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss it all.
Rusty, there's a fuck ton of guys flying control line in the United States that aren't on Stunthangar. Okay,
There's like thousands.
a bunch.
There's a bunch.
A bunch of guys building shit, flying shit, posting pictures that are on Facebook that don't want to be competition level flyers
Anyway,
or anything like that. They're building planes, they're flying planes with their kids or their grandkids, and there's a shit ton of them out there that aren't on Stunthangar but are on Facebook.
Yeah. All right, I got you. I'll try to.
And I'm not trying to dog Stunthangar at all. I think Stunthangar it's an awesome wealth of information. Anything you want to know about tuning an engine, building an airplane, doing a finish, competition flying in all disciplines. It's great that we have that that asset of speed, combat, racing, stunt, scale. You know, every gambit is covered on Stunthangar, but not everyone is a competition level minded builder and flyer. There are people all over the United States flying control line planes a lot more than what you would think. And they're there on that Facebook page.
That sounds like, yeah, I need to be in there. I'll follow up on it. Meanwhile, I think let's call it a night. This was a pretty good show tonight. Had good show and tells all over the place. Okay, man.
Yeah, VSC this week.
yeah, I got my coach and his best friend are already out there already.
They're out there?
Yeah, they're out there already. They're keeping me informed.
Yeah, I'm heading out there on Wednesday.
Okay, dudes. Well, y'all have a good week. And all you YouTubers, let's see, we got 10 of them watching right now. I thank y'all for your participation. And I'll check out Facebook and see if I can figure out how to find things out there. And
All right. Hey, can you leave the feed open when you shut down? I want to talk to Tom for a minute.
yeah, sure. Okay. Gonna go ahead and say good night, everybody. Have fun and fair winds, tight lines, and we'll see you Friday. So
I'll let you know when I see you back. Or maybe I'll sign on Friday or I'll see you on Monday and let you know.